and howdy everybody, and welcome back to another fun time VB stream. Long time no see. It's been a hot minute since I've last streamed, and I'm sorry about that. Ow! But I see you guys are already back out. Road. I just got back, you're already hitting me. It has been 84 years. Owie! Stop it! I'm sorry, it's been such a long time since I last streamed. I have satellite internet, and when it snows and winds a lot, I don't think winds is the right word. It really messes with my internet, and doesn't let me stream at all because my bitrate gets all fucky. Hey, I love your face and your content, and your amazing friend takes psychic damage for positivity. No! I'm immune to psychic damage. Not really, but like, you can't hurt me with positivity, because I am the most positivist, most awesomest goblin ever. But yes, today, I have received my copies of Pathfinder 2E's NPC Core and, rival Academies, and we're gonna be going over some of them today. As for our rival Academies and NPC stuff, I'm not gonna go over the full books, obviously, because there's a lot to cover, and I'm only gonna keep this about like an hour per book, and going over my favorite parts of them. And also, I don't want to show the entire books off because I want you guys to still be able to buy them and still have a reason to actually get them yourself because they are chock full of amazing, awesome content. And I love them. The NPC Core is something I didn't know I needed until they released it. And I looked through it and I'm like, yeah, no, this is perfect. This has everything I need as a GM who wants to randomly throw shit at my players every once in a while. Especially stat blocks or stuff like lawyers. When you ever had like a party member just want to punch out a lawyer? Well, now you can. If it ever comes up, there's stats for it now. And that is always fun. Also, this is gonna sound really hokey right now, but like, I haven't like done this stuff in like almost like over a month, I believe, like almost 2 months. So my face kind of hurts from smiling so much right now. The Trooper ramp is so much better. It is! I really like how area affecting stuff works and all that jazz. If I were to be undead, what kind of undead would I be? I don't want to be anything that's like immortal, so all undead is kind of like that, sadly. Mortality scares me. So I don't know. I feel like though I'd be like a really hot ghoul, or like, I don't want to like, Lich is too much. Lich is too far, although I could probably like, you know, have hot bones and stuff like that. Whoa, Fear rank 3 be a pawn troop. Yes, exactly. It's so much better and so gooder. I just really, really like it. Yeah, we're gonna swap over the little screen there in just a second. Vampire, you can chomp people. I already can chomp people as most undead. Most undead just eat and bite things. Hot bones. Yeah, hot bones. So burning skeleton then? I mean, there is that, what's it called? In Book of the Dead, they have the different types of skeletons and zombies and stuff you can have and be. Like, the attribute, like, what's it, alternate abilities, excuse me. You have to do the troop rules? Yes, they have to do the troop rules in NPC Core, and they are way, way better. I'll make a video about them separately. Also, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my streams to make sure that, like, I'm actually getting, like, a good enough bitrate to keep streaming right. Is this, like, any stuttering for you guys? Any skipping or anything like that? Alright, makes me feel feeble as a werewolf? No, I'm just a goblin, and those goblins bite people all the time. Wrong button. There it is. Ha! Yeah, I have the NPC Core in my hands right now. We're gonna swap over. They can actually eat mental effects now. These 5 creatures. Yeah, I love that part. Also, that was almost max damage. Good job, Dina. Road. I just realized I forgot to make my going live posts on Twitter and stuff like that. Someone do that real quick. I'm sorry. It's been a hot minute. I'm a little scuffied. Picture there. Going over new books. Where is it? There we go. Hello, Dorada VT. Welcome in. We're for the there's a table of contents for the NPC Core, and for this one we are going to be going over only a couple of them, like the criminals, the mercenaries, and the villains. There's a whole lot of them. I'm gonna show you the whole what's it called when we get there, but like there's like almost 200 pages of pure NPC stuff, and they're really fun. But I'm going to go over 3 sections of them because they're my 3 favorite, and also the 3 stuff you're most likely going to put at your party. Criminals and stuff like that. Mercenaries are generic. Enemies you can put in like a big fight thing. These are trained soldiers. And then, of course, the evildoer villains, which are the more like nefarious, over-the-top, evil-y types. And also a lot of criminals are hot. Alright, I got those posts all set up. Sadly, I need to eat, so I can't stay have fun. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, bye. Thank you for stopping by. We're gonna move on to the streaming game overlay thingy I have set up for my little book readings. I'll zoom out real quick so you can see the cover of it. This cover is fucking fire. Okay, but fight Richard Hawk, Traders, Vice President, Mech Driver, Richard! Dude, I love that game. I wish the Steam port was better. Metal Wolf Chaos is fuck amazing. And I love fucking Richard Hawk. What was his secretary's name? I can't remember. And then just the president. So they're so over the top and so goofy, but the Steam fucking port that I've tried, I wanted to stream it, but it crashes so often for me. But look at this fucking bomb ass cover. Look at these homies. Look at this little goblin in the bottom right corner. Oh, I'm covering up. Fuck. Her name was Jody. Okay, look at this little goblin in the far right corner. A little scrunkler in a barrel. But as you can see from the table of contents, there is a lot of stuff. Artisans, courtiers, criminals, devotees, downtrodden, engineers, explorers, healers, laborers, martial artists, mavericks, mercenaries, military, mystic, official, performers, primalists, scholars, seafarers, and villains. And there's also stuff for like basic core ancestry things you can apply to different NPCs, like different adjustments you can make to them to give them abilities, like halfling luck, goblin fuckery, and all that type of stuff. And then some other fun stuff like companions for like just having an animal companion that's not like a companion that someone like invests feats into, but is like a cool animal creature that follows you around and can do stuff in combat. Oh guys, I fucking accidentally hit my knife button. Why did it hit like all my toggles? Weird. If you streaming this economy, listen. Yeah, like I said beforehand, we're going to start off with the criminals. Now, these guys are really fun. Some of these NPCs scale from like level -1 to some of them even going up to like level like 20s and stuff like that. Why is it moving me over here? Why is like 98 of my freaking thingies happen? Hey everybody, sorry this is a little scuffed. I don't know why. Like 19 different things like oh god, this is annoying. There we go. Yeah, starting off with grave robbers. There's also a lot of pictures for these. Like all these NPCs have amazing art for them. I'm not gonna lie, it's grave robber. She's a little fucky looking, but wood. My pages is the book. It's 242. Form, goddamn, that's cool. Listen, this is the PFTV book I'm most looking forward to. It is one of my favorites so far. Also, not to alarm anybody, but this Grey Robber does in fact have her grippers out. These are, like, starting off with the Grave Robber, this is a very basic enemy. They have embalming flasks, holy water, in case they come into contact with undead while grave robbing, and a shovel. And they use the shovel for their melee attacks, as well as can use their embalming flasks as alchemical bombs that do acid damage with acid splash damage, and also give you a minus to your speeds because of the embalming fluid that's in it. Average bandit has 19 AC, 38, but damn, Galarian's brigands are hardcore. They are! 19 AC, 30 HP, like you said. They have a sling. They can throw their dagger. They have Dread Striker, which is a rogue feat you can take as well, which just makes enemies that are, I guess, not enemies, your allies, frightened creatures that are off guard to the bandit. And they ignore any difficult terrain caused by plants, such as bushes, vines, and undergrowth. I just love all the different stuff, because we're starting off small. Grave Robber, into Bandit, into Loan Shark. Loan Sharks are canonically more powerful than your average bandit. Help her out, she needs a hand. Your band, mods, kill this man. Yeah, no, just think about it. A loan shark is stronger than a bandit. I just love that thought. And as you can see here from the loan shark stat block, some of these creatures have levels for other things that aren't combat. So while this loan shark is only level 2 creature in combat, it's a level 7 creature / challenge when it comes to encounters involving monetary deals. So if you need to negotiate something for someone or for yourselves that involves this loan shark, it's going to be a way harder challenge, 5 levels harder than as if it was just to punch the guy out. I mean, I'm not messing with the IRS. Fair. I've always felt they're underutilized, that little monster. Yeah, there's a lot more in NPC Core that deal with, like you'll find barristers that are like, they count on the level 7 thing for legal stuff. Yeah, counting lore plus 17. These guys know their money. They don't even need to look at the books to know what they did with your money and how much they gave you and how much your interest is. They just know. I just love that type of stuff. And with Business Savvy, they get, when making monetary deals, they get a +8 bonus to Deception, Diplomacy, and Perception DCs. So you aren't getting anything past them. And my favorite part is never off the hook. It is a 60-foot aura. Creatures in the aura who owe the loan shark money take a -3 penalty to their will DCs against the loan shark's attempt to demoralize or coerce them, and can't reduce their frightened value below 1 while in the aura. I love this so much because it's extremely thematic, but also very strong. Look at the interest they make up on the spot the second you take the loan. Exactly. They automatically know it all immediately. But, like, think about it. You owe this loan shark money, you're gonna fight him for it. He's gonna demoralize you, and you have a fucking -3 penalty to your will DC. Against the demoralize / coerce. It's cool even out of combat, yes, because it's not just demoralize, it's coerce, which is the out of combat intimidation technique that takes a minute to do when they talk to you and shit like that. It is, oh, it's so peak. And of course, for a melee weapon, the loan shark uses a fancy-ass cane with a dragon head, like little, like, what's it called? Like figurine thingy on the end of it. Yeah, frighten reduces skill check too, so if he intimidates you out of combat, so yeah, penalty. Yes! The pimp stick, yes. Any like rich like criminal asshole you see in a movie with like a really fancy, or like you ever see like those pictures of like when cops raid like criminal empires and shit like that, and just steal like these super over the top weapons, like that one cartel thing that was like just like a homemade Browning machine gun. It's just fun stuff like that. And then on top of that, they have interest is due. It's a one action ability they can use once per round to command an ally within 30 feet to attack a creature who owes the loan shark money. The ally can use a reaction to strike the debtor, dealing an additional 1d6 mental damage. So they can command their friends to just beat people up as a reaction, kind of like the commander class can, and they get a bonus mental damage on top of it because they're getting the shit beat out of them because they owe them money. This is how you make an NPC slash like creature that is extremely about what they're about. This goes so into the flavor of a loan shark that it's preposterous, and I love that. This is the thing I can throw in my party now. It's awesome and scary, yes! They should put this in any, like, seedy underbelly of a city and actually have them have a really good fight with it, too. Instead of being because back before this book came out, you just, give them a bandit stat block and be like, meh. But now you have an actual loan shark stat block that is fully invested in the loan shark part of everything, and the money dealing, and the money laundering, and everything like that. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Ruffians, these are your bodyguards. These actually have rogue features from like the rogue class. Like the ruffian rogue, I should say, like subclass slash racket. And also very cathartic for your party to get rid of the debt in the easy way too. Yes! But they can't always take the easy way, which is why it's so hard to fight them when it comes to, like, monetary shit in, like, debates or courtrooms or anything like that. Yeah, the ruffian has brutal beatings, which, as you know, is a rogue feat, I believe. Let me look it up real quick. I'll make sure I'm not talking on my ass. Yeah, it's specifically towards the ruffian rackets, level 2 feet. Whenever they deal damage on a critical hit, they are frightened, except for this time, the NPC can also push the target up to 10 feet. And they also have the combat grab feat that the fighter and other martial artist archetype can grab. Or is it wrestler? One of the two. But they can just have that as well, just to grab you. If they have one hand free and they hit you with something, they just grab you with it at the end of the strike. And they also have sneak attack. So this is basically an NPC rogue from the Pathfinder to be rogue actual class itself. Thank you so much for the follow, Trobot VT. But it's literally just a NPC stat block of a actual player rogue you can make. Studded leather, they got a club, and also a sling, and then a bunch of cool rogue feats. Tell me Chrono. Okay. Shoot, I wish I knew you had a Twitch. Of course I have a Twitch. It's a really fun place here. You know, Ruffian is just the Ruffian rogue class, but like as an NPC. And then Charlatan. These ones are really fun because these are like bards, like criminal bards that use their fun time bardic spellcasting for evil, mean, illusionary things and to trick people. Then you get versatile performance, which is the, I believe, the bard feature that lets them use performance to make an impression, to demoralize, and use acting as a performance to impersonate somebody. Malicious use of curses. So there's non-malicious use of curses then? Yes. Okay, back to work, but I'm very stoked for when I get my hands on this book. Yes, it's so good. One of the cultist types be in this category, or is that another place? I believe that is in the mystic category. It's either the mystic category or the villains category. I don't remember which one. I think it's just a prank NPC. Yes! Bye, Apocalypse Construct. Have fun at work. Yeah, no, this is just like a criminal bard. They have occult spellcasting, they have the composition spells, they have counter performance and courageous anthem, they have sneak attack from the rogue. And their spells they get is charm, illusionary disguise, disguise magic, illusionary disguise again, and ventriloquism. This is just evil, mean bard that uses their magic to swindle people. And I just want to say, hey Phoebe, I'm looking to have a good stream. Thank you for stopping by, Dina. The fact I like how, like, just due to the way levels work in Pathfinder, a burglar is stronger than a loan shark, which is stronger than a bandit. So if someone breaks in your house, they're gonna kill you. But if they try to rob you on the side of the street, you can totally beat them up. Oh shit, my fishing game isn't up. I'm sorry. Oh god. I just realized I didn't make it happen. Oh god. Forgot to start it before stream. Oops. I'm sorry. That's my bad. To be fair, these stats don't represent all burger stuff, but yeah, but it's just really funny to think about from an outside perspective that, like, just gonna get hit with a fish. You can't convince me this pick is a burglar. What do you mean? That's a burglar right there. They have the picky lockies. They have a grappling hook. They got a bow. Also, the fishing thing should be up now. Sorry. You know, this is like a turbo burglar, I guess, if you're gonna fight more than a common burglar. This is an advanced burglar. And they have the denied bandage and nibble dodge that a rogue has, as well as the climbing kit. They have a bunch of stealth. I'm surprised they don't have more athletics just because of, what's it called? Just because of being able to climb the rope and shit like that, because they have grapple stuff. Where's the ski mask? They don't have ski masks back then, babe. This is the burglar who hits the loan shark's house. Yeah, the Robin Hood, the dire burglar. Look at our burglar, but dire. Which, because again, this is the NPC Core. It officially releases, I believe, in a couple of days, but I got my PDF early because I am a subscriber, so I get the PDF as soon as the book ships out. Get burglar squared. You got dudes who burg, and then you got proper Thieves Guild members. This is the second. I do like how they do specify that they can disable traps that require a master proficiency to disable, as well as having a +12 to their thievery and stealth. And they also have the mobility feature from Rogue and also Monk, as well as sneak attack and the Rogue surprise attack, which makes them automatically deal precision damage to an off-guard creature. Because anyone's off guard if they start the turn. If they first round of combat, creatures haven't acted yet are off guard to the burglar. We're almost to my favorite NPC. We're almost to like my favorite one. And you're gonna realize why in just a second. This isn't their stat block, but this is their fucking picture. What I miss? Just a couple of criminals. Burglars, loan sharks, all that jazz. Look at her chat. Look at this lady. She's perfect. Perfect in every way. Ow! You always cast really, like, yeah, look at her. Look at this lady. She will kill you, and you will thank her. Why is she so fire? She's just happily breaking legs. She's got the fucking spiky boots, the spiky everything. I love her. Like, I can't not love her. What are land sharks called? Bullets. Hello, Fortune Ava. Welcome in. Yeah, this is not their stat block, but this is their fucking look. And it is a look. And I love it. Their hammer is over the top and ultra spiky. And their stat block is really mean. They will kill you. But first, we gotta go over a fence. It's a spiky gal. She has super cuff energy. She does. I want to steal that fit. Why do dice keep hitting you? Because my Twitch chat has a redeem lets them cast Fireball and a 10th rank Fireball on me. Imagine Phoebe wearing that. I would love to. I'd wear that IRL, not gonna lie. So we're gonna play Death Croquet. We have Fence. Fences are another creature that have extra bonus stats and stuff like that and levels because of out of combat stuff. While in combat, they're level 5 creature. Yeah, out of combat, they have bonuses to Underworld lore checks. They have bonuses to accounting lore. They are really good at feinting you for, and they can just rummage through their pockets and throw shit at you. And as you can tell, most of these criminals have sneak attack, which I'm not sure why the fence has sneak attack, because I feel like, I don't know, a guy who just sits there and sells stolen goods for me, I don't know why they have higher sneak attack than like the burglar or the ruffian or the bandit. Why is the guy who sells things by an encounter have a better sneak attack? That's one thing I don't get. Like, this fence is surprisingly good in combat for something that is just like, I just sit there. Thank you so much for the follow, Tassadar003. And yes, my chat does show their love by throwing things at me, exploding me. Sure, I wasn't following here yet. That's fine. I do it all the time with my friends. But yeah, now we can move on to the best girl stat block. Why does the fence have Thieves' Cant come to that one level different for Thieves' Cant? Wait, that's 5e. Yeah, the leg breaker. She's my favorite. She has a big fuck off maul, a plus 15 to intimidation, a plus 16 to athletics, which is a plus 17 when shoving somebody with the maul. Those boots are bait. They are! This entire outfit is fucking fire, and I want to wear it, IRL. They have a +1 maul that deals 10, like 1d10 plus 10 damage. And they have a special attack called Break Legs. There's a bug on my screen. Get away from here. It's a 2-action ability where they just make a big smack against you. You are knocked prone if it hits, and you become clumsy 1 for 1 minute. As level 6, yes! As long as your clumsy condition lasts, you also take a -5 penalty to speeds and have weakness 5 to the leg breaker's strikes. Their entire personality is, I will break you, and they will break you. But yeah, break legs works as knockdown with a clumsy rider that also makes them deal more damage to you and lower your speed. Music background sounds familiar. It is a bunch of my metal shit I usually listen to. But clumsy rider sounds like something someone would say outside the bedroom. Hey, I am the most advanced and proficient rider. But yeah, they also have rushing strike, where you stride twice as a 2-action ability, and then if they end move within melee range of somebody, they hit you. Or they can make a strike against you. And then Stampeding Shove. They shove a creature, gaining a +2 bonus to their athletics checks if they're prone. If the shove succeeds, the target takes 2d10 bludgeoning damage, double damage on a crit success. This lady can fuck you up. This lady will kill you. Talk GM to me. She also has Reactive Strike. I didn't highlight that. But yeah, no, she also has Reactive Strike. So she has a lot of fighter / barbarian features. She can grab it. It's like the Mauler dedication on a barbarian because they have the rushing strike, the stampeding shove. The shove confuses me a little bit because they get a bonus to their athletics checks if the target is prone. But I get it because it coincides with break legs, so there's some synergy there. Also has good stealth as well, so she can sneak up and smash you too. Yes. Can't run away, she'll break your legs, exactly. And she'll chase you down, break your legs. You already at her? She'll break your legs. I'm gonna say that even if you disarm her, she'll still mess you up. That fist attack is no joke. Yes! I still have the +10 bludgeoning damage. It's just, it's so good. This lady is peak boss fight. I can see this being like an upstart, like, party is like first major villain they overtake and they beat. This could definitely be like a crime boss level. Because she is strong for level 6 enemy. A level 4 party with like 4 people would definitely struggle a little bit against her. Especially if she has other people with her. Hey, thank you, Irish Jacob, for the follow. Also, 30 speed, 5 more than most people, so if you start running away before she smashes your knees, she'll still catch up. Yes! This lady has one thing on her mind, one thing only, and that is to break your legs. And she looks like she has a good time doing it, so all the more power to her. Yeah, your kneecaps are mine! I love her. She's so perfect in every way. This is definitely gonna be a fun time. First tier boss from like a party. The next game I make. I have a feeling she probably had normal starts to she had normal stats to start with, and then the art came out and they felt they need to make adjustments. I would too, in all honesty, because Jesus. Yes, it's a book exclusively of NPC stat blocks and how to use them. It also has revamped troop rules to make them more better to fight and run. Yes, this is a you need to run boss if you can. But I feel like they should run like a pretty high up, but not like super high up, like crime, family / activity / like guild thingy going on. And she should be like the final big boss who runs everything. And to close off your first tier of play, levels 1 through 5, you have to go against her and some of her lackeys. And like, especially if you encounter her early on and she'll just run up to you, break one of your legs, and then leave. After she just like, what's it called? Like, she'll just like crack open your leg, leave you broken and battered, then just spit on you and leave and walk away. And while some people might enjoy that, I want it to be like a starting off point, you know? It's like a villain that you could totally have against like the level 1 party who like might get a little big for their britches. And she's like, oh, there's a bad guy that walks into the bar, let's beat her up. And then they get their ass beat and be like, we'll get you later. Ow, my legs. Hey, Maple! Thank you so much for the raid! This would be like a Loan Shark's Enforcer. No, man, the Loan Shark works for her. Don't spray me, that's rude. You know, the Loan Shark definitely works for her and gets her all of her shmoney. I'm not a kink shamer. I'm just saying you might want to run next time. You're stinky. I'm not stinky. You're stinky. Ugh. But yeah, the leg breaker is fire. My favorite NPC in this book, or at least one of them. There's a couple more that are more fucky and weird, like the Flesh Warper. Ooh, I love her weird flesh dress, but that's for later. I'm thinking after the leg breaker menaces the party, they track the Loan Shark down and convince her to turn on the Loan Shark and smash him instead. But yeah, no, now we have a troop. They've improved troop rules by a lot. Troop rules are better affected by AoE stuff, as well as other types of debuffs. Like, if you get a 3rd rank fear on, you can fear at least 5 people. I believe is per troop, lets you affect those and lower the stats of the troop itself. Go down to the forbidden book section real quick. No. If it's in the table of contents, I will. Or if you have a page number. Because it's not in the bookmarks. You know, this entire not goblin, you maybe say goblin chat, this entire bandit gang, you could fight a level 7 troop of just bandits ambushing you. So while one bandit might be level 1, or like, you know, a couple bandits might be level 1 or 2 fight, this is a fuck you, you're gonna fight the squad. Okay, I will go to that page after we're done looking at the squad. Troop can spend 10 minutes preparing the ground before combat, getting a +2 bonus to their initiative roll. One in the middle needs a hat? No. If he has a hat, it'll cover up his scar. And whenever they roll initiative, they use a deception or stealth. They can use stand and deliver as a free action. What's stand and deliver, you might ask? They can demoralize up to 4 creatures at once by just goading you all for single action. The balding makes it more intimidating. Hey, my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. Goblin Attack Squad. Yeah, no, 24 AC, 120 HP in 4 segments. And then all the other segments down afterwards. They have a 3-action ability called Chop 'em Down, which is 1 to 3 actions. They can do it once per round. The bandits make a coordinated attack with their axes against each enemy in a 5-foot emanation with a 22 basic reflex save. Damage depends on the number of actions. 1 action you spend is a 1d6 plus 3, 2 actions is 2d6 plus 9, and then 3 actions is 3d6 plus 9. He's been a bandit for a while. Be cautious around the old man impression where most die young. Exactly. He's missing an, like, he has a blind eye with a scar down it. I don't know if you can see that very well on the stream. This man's seen some shit and been in some stuff. But also, I like how they're all using axes, because I can use them as the axe gang from, what's it called? Kung Fu Hustle. No, I think I'm just afraid of bald people. That's fair. You are very scared of my boss. The Dark Scorpion Bandits. They also have launch slings that lets them launch a volley of their sling bullets in a 10-foot burst and 50 feet that deal 2d6 plus 4 bludgeoning damage with a basic reflex save, DC 22. But the area decreases as they get smaller and smaller of the ranks. The axe boss wears a suit. Yes. I still know they all have axes, even the big guy has a big axe. What page around? We're on page 22. You said it was on page 144. Forbidden book. I'll look at these in a little bit. I'll look at these afterwards. And next up we have Master of Disguise. They found a theme and rolled with it. They did. I mean, if you're gonna be the type of bandit group, you might as well be the axe guys. Wait, can you force using this as a template? I feel like you'd better be served using, like, the mercenary troop instead, because it's stronger. And they do stuff better together. Because there's a lot of troops in this book, don't worry. Master of Disguise is next, and as you can guess, it's all about disguising and seeing through stuff. The art for it is weird. It's like David, but also he has a really detailed face mask that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know if you can see it, if my head's in the way. It is very uncanny. I don't like that. But I get it. They're a master of disguise. But ew, I don't like it. Yeah, as you can probably guess, they are a disguise specialist that is all about being deep undercover and stuff like that. Getting bonuses to gather information, impersonate, lie, or request when dealing with members of organizations they've infiltrated. if the master of disguise and the creature they're impersonating are in each other's presence, the genuine creature must lie if they're vouching for their own identity and are treated as though they were impersonating themselves if someone seeks them in an attempt to pierce the disguise. That's how good the master of disguise is. They can convince everybody else that they're the real one, even in the presence of the actual real person. And they have a 3-action ability called Impeccable Disguise, where they get a +5 status bonus to deception checks to impersonate or tell a lie that helps them maintain their disguise. And whenever a spell or magical effect tries to read their mind, detect whether they're lying or reveal their identity, they can attempt a deception check against the spell or effect's DC. If they succeed, the effect reveals information appropriate to their cover identity or nothing. The GM determines which one. Also, on top of that, they have 3d6 sneak attack damage, and can do the whole shocking reveal thing, which is a really fun feat that I believe swashbucklers and rogues get access to. Where they spend an action to rip off their disguise, a dramatic gesture, and everyone's like, oh! And they're off guard to them. It is the TF2 spy! Yes! Except there's no pyro, just randomly turning around and spraying everyone with fire every 2 seconds to make sure they're not getting backstabbed. But I hate the fucking mask, but I love the stat block. Because you'd think someone who's only about being in disguise and stuff like that would be, you know, like, not very affecting in combat. And they hit you with the rip off their disguise and then stab you for extra 3d6 damage, bruh. Like, sure, their weapons only do 1d4 plus 6 damage, but that's an extra 3d6 on top of that. And now we're getting to the spicy territory, where things are getting up there in levels. This is a level 8 creature, the Assassin. They kill people for money. And they're really good at it. They have denied advantage from the burglar, as well as the nimble dodge from the burglar. As well as being able to move their full speed while sneaking. They have the burglar surprise attack. They also have a sneak attack that deals 2d6 damage, which is less than the disguise guy. But they have a rapier with a +22 attack. The same things as a normal rapier. Deadly d8, disarm, and finesse with a 1d6 plus 9 piercing damage. But they also have poisons. But lets them just poison a weapon, and then they get to apply whatever poison they want, and the DC is increased to 24 if it was lower than the actual DC of the poison. Which is really great for those lower DC but high effectiveness poisons, like, what's it called? That's the clown one, Clown Monarch, I believe. That one's fun, makes you all slippy. And this dwarf lady is gonna kick my fucking ass, bro. Crime Kingpin. She looks like she's gonna kill me. Imagine a master of disguise as an assassin that pretends to be their mark so they can trick other people into killing their mark. This is the penguin's mom! No! But yes. I just love the look of them, like, covered head to toe in ornate jewelry. Big fuck off cigar in one hand. The thing they're gonna kill you with in the other hand. They are not fucking around. And those thighs can crush my head. Without even a thought. This is where it starts getting into boss monster territory. Crime Kingpin has a +1 hand crossbow, a +1 other armor, potion of flying, a bunch of potions of healing, and a +1 rapier. They get reactive strike, which is, you know, attack somebody if they move or cast a spell or interact with something in their range. They have denied advantage, which means that anyone that's lower level than them can't flank them. Can you ask your opinion on a character having trouble with the class? Sure, go for it. In your book, yes, this is NPC Core, full of a bajillion stat blocks of just different types of enemies. Kingpin's presence is an aura, which gives all allies a +2 bonus to their saving throws against mental effects, because you're the Kingpin and they're in your awful presence. They also have a really fun reaction that I really love called You'll Pay For That. if they damage you, or if you damage them, I should say, you can use your reaction to issue a vendetta against the enemy. Each of the kingpins' allies who hear the command, they have to hear it. So if you have something that gets rid of their hearing, like deafening them via spells or whatnot, they get a +5 bonus to their damage rolls against the person who hit them. So if you punch this kingpin in the face, they'll be like, "Get him, boys!" And they'll be like, "Yeah, boss!" And then you get a +5 extra damage on top of their sneak attack damage, so they're probably gonna be a bandit or a burglar or something like that, on top of their base damage. So this is a good way to just single someone out and kill the fuck out of them. So don't attack them unless you can handle it. Like, imagine like 4 guys with extra 5 damage, so that's 20 damage flat if they hit you. Hey, Boog, thank you so much for the raid! The damage bonus isn't limited to strikes. It looks like, no, it's just the next damage roll they make. So it's spells, strikes, anything like that. Innate abilities, items. Here, hold these. Thank you for entrusting me with your community, Boog. We're going over the new Pathfinder book, NPC Core, and going over one of my favorite categories, the criminals. This kingpin is definitely a boss level enemy that will punish you just for hitting them, and also beat the shit out of you themselves, because they are no slouch. Level 12 enemy. They do 2d6 plus 11 piercing damage with their rapier. If they crit you, they do an extra d8 damage on top of that. They also have Fencing Brawl, 2 extra ability. They attempt a rapier strike followed by a disarm or grapple against the same enemy. These count as 1 attack for the multiple attack penalty, and the penalty does not increase until after both attacks go off. Team looks like they're fun to punch in the face. Exactly, that's what they want. If you punch them, they'll be able to kill you easier with the you'll pay for that reaction. Do you think is a good class this would be? A Yaguai, born of item, ink. Created from a mixture of ink and blood spilled from a writer that was murdered at his desk. It was created from the essence of the writer's unfinished stories, road bleeding as its shadowed silhouette as it weaves an ongoing tale, found in the pages of its creator's unfinished writings. It seems to any unwritten story it was born from. Would you want them to be a caster or a marshal? Because I feel like a spinner of threads witch would fit really nicely with that concept. Spinner of threads is about fate and stuff like that, but also can fuck with luck and stuff like that. No, I'm thinking of that one. I'm thinking of the inscribed one. That's the one. The inscribed one. Excuse me. Spinner of fate. Spinner of threads is the fate and luck one. The inscribed one is the writing one. It's an arcane spell list, and it's just about written words to accomplish stuff, which I think fits very well for a writer. Like, maybe your patron is the writer themselves as they die. You just got magic from their very existence. Name of Bard and Lore Oracle first came to my head, but Inscribe Witch sounds fun. Yes! Okay, back to the book. You also have Kickaway. Kickaway is fucking mean! Okay, normally when you disarm something from a creature, the item lands in that creature's space, so they can pick them up as an action on their turn. Not when this motherfucker is around. Kickaway. When they knock an item out of a creature's grasp using disarm, which they can do with a rapier really easily, they then kick the weapon up to 20 feet in any direction. If the kingpin kicks the weapon into an ally's square, that ally can catch the weapon as a free action. So, they can disarm you of your +2 cool-ass, bomb-ass greatsword, and then kick it towards their ally, who now has a +2 kick-ass, badass greatsword. Don't get disarmed. Just don't. They also have the 3d6 sneak attack damage on top of all their shit, which is a lot, as well as Kingpin's Command, which they can use one action to command one of their allies to go and either strike or stride, which the allies then later immune for 24 hours. Kick Away is so fucking mean. Like, fencing brawl mixed with like sneak attack and everything like that is already brutal. You'll pay for that as already a really brutal like reaction on top of reactive strike. Kick Away is the most awfulest, meanest thing I can see you doing to a player ever, other than counter-spelling a heal/revive spell. Thank you, Katsune Koji, for the resub! More than months is, I don't know, more than a year. Happy Goblins. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah, this thing has reactive strike, which is already just a decent all-around reaction. And you'll pay for that in Kick Away are two fuck you reactions. Of course, they only have one reaction per turn, so they can't just keep spamming all of these, but being able to pick all these different things just to see how you're gonna fuck over your players is the funniest and most awesome concept. So, all in all, don't fuck with the Kingpin. They will kill you, especially in the presence of their allies. And then with every type of, what's it called? Every type of category, there's usually one rare enemy. And the rare one for the criminal is Flamboyant Thief. Reach level 15. These, look at their drip. Look at their fucking drip. Like, this shit's fire. They steal shit in front of you because they know you're gonna fucking see them anyways, and they want you to see it. They have a dramatic entrance. Look at Black Feather Peacock. I think they have an ability called I Say When I'm Here, where if any detection, revelation, or scrying magic will reveal the Flamboyant Thief, they become aware of said magic and can attempt to counteract that magic with a counteract rank of 8th level and use their stealth as their counteract modifier. If you scry them with magic, they can just innately say, no, I'll let you know when I'm here. Which is the best ever. They also have a dramatic entrance, which is a free action. Whenever they roll initiative, they draw all eyes on them and attempt a performance check, comparing themselves against the ability of any creature within 120 feet. Like I said, they'll let you know they're here. And each creature that succeeds against the fascinated, each creature the thief succeeds against is fascinated with the thief until the end of their thief's next turn. And then all of their fucking abilities in combat are extremely over the top, and I love it. They have Dancing Dagger, which is a 2-action ability. The Flamboyant Thief can step, attempt a melee dagger strike, and attempt a ranged dagger strike, taking the actions in any order. Both strikes count towards map, but doesn't increase until after both attacks. Dramatic Exit, a 3-action ability. They throw down their smoke ball, then hide, then sneak up to 3 times with a +2 bonus to their stealth checks. They get a Batman exit, yes! And they don't get sneak attack, mind you, they get spectacular attack. All of their strikes deal additional 3d6 precision damage, or 66 if the target is fascinated. After the thief strikes a creature, they become fascinated with the thief until the end of the thief's next turn. I keep hearing femboy teeth. Listen, I'm bad at talking. Spectacular attack is fucking mean. There is no, like, sneak attack if off guard. No, they just by default deal 3d6 extra damage. Double that on a fascinated creature. And even just hitting you fascinates you. So they can just fucking immediately obliterate you if they had to. Of course, they're probably not going to, because they have a +31 to stealth. So they'll just fucking sneak on by. They can also hide or sneak without having any cover or being concealed because they have a vanishing act. I love them. They're such a fucking fun enemy. They're so cool. His voices, when she gets excited, is the best. Listen, I'm very excitable. My next character, a thief pixie that steals teeth. They're gonna be a femboy teeth thief, not a tooth fairy. One of our chat members wanted us to look at page 144 with the Forbidden Books section. It's a really fun section of the book that has a bunch of books that are banned in a certain amount of countries. Thank you so much to follow, Sapphic Vampire. Forbidden books such as The King in Yellow, The Book of Joy, The Collected First Songs, Poised in the Water, Abigail's Pillow Book, A Thread of Silver, Ahem Alactome, On Government, The Riverbanks, Secrets of the Dreaming Dark, Marfeldius' Quince's Guide to Arcane Cooking, and Cities Between Empires, and they tell you how many countries they're banned in and why they're banned in. So if you want to have banned books in your game, roll the table. And I love the reasons for some of these things being banned. The Book of Joy is the sacred holy book of Callistrian Church, and is emphatically, so I can't read, emphatically not suitable for children. It's banned in 3 countries because it's like, hey, the holy book of sex and BDSM. The On Government is a book that helps people revolt against awful governments, so of course they ban those, and just stuff like that. It's really fun. Yeah, they have The King in Yellow. I have The King in Yellow in my game right now. Yeah. It's banned in 28 countries. And it goes over the entire description of why it's banned, because if anyone doesn't know the story of The King in Yellow, it's a fun play that gets put on, and if you watch it or read it, you end up becoming a part of the play and have some really fucked up stuff happening to you. But back to the table of contents. Those were all the criminals. And as you can probably tell by me shouting about the leg breaker, that's my favorite NPC from all the criminals. And now we're going to move on to villains. Villains are my second favorite, like, subgroup of the NPCs. These are just your whole, like, generic villainy, selfish stuff. Damn, I'm late. Oh, you're fine. It does have a connection to Hastur. And Hastur is a deity you can worship in Pathfinder. It's in Galarian lore and all that stuff. And I just love the names for all these, like, villainous things. Conspiracists, level 0 creature, you got your Alex Jones and stuff like that. Just to misinform and falsify facts to further your own cause and all that jazz. And I love the fact that they have the compulsive liar ability, where they use deception, some diplomacy to make an impression or request. Yeah, the info warrior. Yes. And there is level 0 creature in combat, but level 4 creature / challenge when it comes to anything that involves deception or social manipulation. Conspiracists are just like your grifters and shit like that. They have a reaction called Invoke Pity, where an enemy reduces the conspiracist to below half their maximum HP. They beg their assailants to see reason and let them live. They make a performance check against the ability to see if all enemies are 30-foot emanation. A creature the attempt succeeds against takes a -2 penalty to damaging attacks without non-lethal trait they make against the conspiracist for 10 minutes. And they have a 2-action ability where they make you stupefied by making you think that you've been hoodwinked into attacking them by nefarious powers. They make a deception check against the will to see if all enemies they can hear. And you become stupefied 2 for 1 minute. And if you are already stupefied 2, you become controlled by conspiracy until the end of the encounter. That's a crit success, by the way. And if it's a normal success, they go to stupefied 1 for 1 minute, or stupefied 2 if they're already stupefied 1. However, if they critically fail, that means that the enemy that they're trying to use it against is immune to it for 24 hours. This is a very powerful ability, as you can probably see. The ability to just immediately control you until the end of combat is nuts. They either have to critically succeed twice, or just succeed twice and then critically succeed again. So it's very hard to actually happen. But the fact that it can happen is crazy. But I like it. I think it's very fitting. Because this is a weak enemy. Level 0, 15 HP, 14 AC. You can beat the shit out of this guy easy. They're not getting this like the second or third round. But if they do, they could just take you over with their mind virus. That she turned flyers into a mob? Yes! And I love that just not being, they're not called minions, they're called toadies. It is very powerful out of combat, yes. It is applicable in and out of combat. Toady. These minions perform thankless tasks that keep their master vile machine running. Without loyalty or fear, Toady serves their boss faithfully. This is just your generic minion, like, my dark master has told me I have to kill you type of enemy. Goblins aren't real. They're automatons built by government to spy on people. Yeah, like that shit. They even have an ability called Master Sends Their Regards. A Toady can deliver a message from their boss to demoralize using their boss's intimidation modifier instead of their own. I love that thought, though, where it's like, my master sends his regards. You're like, who? You're like, Dark Lord Balthazar. And you're like, oh! But yeah, someone in chat pointed out, they have a weakness to mental damage. And as you can tell, these are literally just the most devout, most devoted minions ever. They have a human shield reaction where they get down Mr. President, the enemy. If the Toadie's boss takes damage from an attack, they can, if the Toadie is adjacent to them, they can just dive in front of it and be like, no, master, no! And just take the damage for them. That cannot be reduced in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, Toady for a kingpin just dropping a level 12 skill bonus is really level party. That just makes, it's so peak. Like a leg breaker, because they also have high intelligence, or a kingpin. Like a level 6 or level 12 enemy, their intimidation score is dropping on them, you're like, oh, it's like, even if you don't know the character, your character definitely knows them. And it helps you get, like, more information to them, like exposition, but also do it through actual gameplay, because this doesn't have to be through combat either. This could just be a way to be like, you don't want to stop us from hurting these people. You're like, why? And you're like, my master, Dark Lord Balthazar, will take care of you next. And you're like, oh god, should we intervene or not? It's just a really fun ability. I love that. So young Rasmir, yes. Yeah, yes, I love that. Do you need a brave Toady, Phoebe? I volunteer as tribute. I don't want to go to work tonight. Actually, there's a little sidebar up here where they talk about toadies, and it's called the perks of the job. A toady who works for a powerful boss may be granted special abilities or gifts. For example, a high-level spellcaster might give them a wand of sending, or an assassin may give them a single dose of deadly poison to use on a problematic enemy. So you can be like, oh, my master has bestowed upon me this knife of stabbering, and then stab, you're like, ah, I'm dead. But because their base damage and stuff is low for an enemy. They're level 0 still. So they have low HP, low AC. weakness to mental damage. Only do like 1d6 plus 2 damage. But they have 2 abilities I love. Scurry. 1 extra ability. The toady strides then can hide. They can have to hide from creatures without cover or being concealed, but at a -2 penalty. So they can just kind of hide in plain sight. Although at a penalty. But it's really fucking cute. I love the idea. They're like, oh no, I gotta get back to my master to inform them of my misdeeds. They just fucking run away. It gets to mental damage, just like me for real. Yes! And then also, their second ability, which is my favorite one. Throw cargo. 2 action ability. A toady carries a heavy load of supplies at their boss's behest. They then hurl a heavy item they're carrying, which explodes on impact, dealing 1d10 bludgeoning damage to all creatures in a 5-foot burst with a DC 14 reflex save. There's like, ah shit, barrel! And I just throw a barrel at you. You're just like, ugh! It's so funny. I love it. Goomba Toady. Yes, this would be your Goomba / Koopa Troopa. Use your basic goons. Not even a goon. This is just a minion. Just throw hordes of them at people and just be like, go minions. What's that one? Oh, it's that Overlord game. We have all those little scrunkly gremlins that do stuff for you. It's like that. And you have saboteurs. Yeah, Dungeon Keeper. Yeah, that one. Saboteurs. These guys are what you'd expect. They infiltrate places. They can set traps or disarm traps. And they have sneak attack. So while these aren't in the criminal category, I feel like they could fit in really nicely. Their whole thing is literally just creating snares. And just running into places and just putting a bunch of traps up like that one Collector movie. If you've ever seen that movie. Great movie. Okay movie. The sequel was not a great movie. But it's still fun to watch. But yeah, they're basically just a normal thing. They just do damage and have sneak attack. But they just create a lot of snares. For a Warhammer game where one of the class's throwables was just a box of grenades based. And this schnazzy buxom lady is a fiend caller. This is a rare creature. I want to say, they're not creatures, they're NPCs. They're rare, unholy NPC. They can speak demonic, diabolic, chthonic. They can speak all of them. All of the evil languages. They're legal specialists for when dealing with devils and stuff like that. And so when involving contracts and negotiations, they are level 8 challenge and not just a level 3 enemy. A bunch of occult spells and spellcasting. They also have fiendish contracts they can make. So they can just call in favors from a fiend, either mid-combat or for like a fun thematic narrative thingy. They are all about summoning and communing with demons, devils, daemons, and all that type of stuff. They aren't very strong in combat, but they can just cast some good spells on you and just summon a demon / devil. The devil's advocate, shut up. I hate you. Hey, Afton. And then on top of conspiracists, there's also propagandists. Yes, they have 6-rank ritual casting exclusively for Binding Circle and Commune, so they can, talk to demons and stuff like that, or devils or whatever, to get favors. They use their legal lore for those rituals, by the way, unlike the normal base skills you're supposed to use. Then you have propagandists. This lets them give propaganda-y abilities, like you could probably guess. Nuanced spin allows them to use diplomacy instead of deception to create a diversion or feint, and instead of intimidation to coerce. And if you attempt to sense motive against the propagandist, you get a result of 1 degree of success worse than they rolled. And while they have some in-combat stuff, regardless of regarding melee stuff, they are an occult spontaneous caster. Using a lot of bardy type stuff like Concordant Choir, Blistering Incentive, Bullhorn, anything that can get them haunting him, a lot of sound-based things and stuff to cast their voice out further. Oh shit, new tab. I like the art. neat idea of having the art show them in a wheelchair. Yeah, anybody can be a criminal. Anybody. You also have a bunch of composition stuff, like Hymn of Healing, Lingering Composition, Courageous Anthem, Rallying Anthem. Propagandists who let the TikTok conspiracy people in the Pathfinder? No, those aren't conspiracy people. This is a conspiracist. There's a difference. There's two different types. These ones just make and produce the material. They also have a special ability called No Hard Feelings. It's a 2-action ability. All enemies who can fear the propagandist must succeed a DC 19 will save. If any of the propagandist allies are currently benefiting from one of the propagandist bard's composition spells, any enemy who is aware takes a -2 penalty to their saves. You guys aren't criminals or following me. I run a nice, clean adventurers guild. No crime happening. Yeah, this is the paid blogger. The conspiracist is just the person who, like, says all the stuff on Twitter. But yeah, no, the propagandist just has like a cool pitch, offering amnesty and other benefits to those who join them. This is the I will, if you join up with us, better things will happen type deal. And if you fail your save against this thing, you must make a DC 5 flat check to target the propagandist with any hostile actions. But if you crit fail it, you switch sides. No crime or other crime. No crime! You stop crime! It's an Adventurers Guild! It's like Pokemon! Mystery Dungeon! But, like, crit failure is, you not only switch sides, you also immediately gain any benefits from the propagandist is giving out to the allies, so like the composition spells and stuff like that. But at the end of each of your turns, you can make a DC 19 will save to snap out of it and rejoin your own allies. But the fact that you can get brainwashed mid-combat by propaganda and be like, it's starting to make a lot of sense, and just start fighting your own friends over it, it's real. That's too real. Yeah, I can't talk. The propagandist isn't a criminal anyways. She's not in that section of the book. Nothing she's doing is criminal. It's totally legal propaganda brainwashing. Next up, Deluded Mob is the troop. This is like your flat earthers being turned violent. They have the irrational ability, which means that they are severely disconnected from reality, and diplomacy checks to make an impression or otherwise sway their worldview automatically fail. You cannot change their mind. They're already set in their ways. They're going to fight you irregardless. Too real. Exactly. This is too real. They made this shit real, and there's something you can fight. Guess what they also have? A victim complex. That's an actual ability they have. Oh, I also have that quality. It's called being correct. They do have different stats for the smart mobs. Do they have different stats for smart mobs? I believe that would be under different things, like the mercenaries and bandits have different troops for them. But yeah, no, they have victim complex. As they lose members, the deluded mob takes the opposition against them as proof that they're right, bolstering their resolve. The deluded mob gains a bonus to will saving throws at 50 or fewer HP, and a +4 at 25 or fewer HP. They also only have one attack. That's like a 1 melee attack called Flail Desperately, where they just, once per round, flail desperately. Anything they can pick up and attack you with, they're going to. And anyone in a 5-foot emanation will get attacked by it with a DC 18 basic reflex save, dealing bludgeoning damage that scales per which actions they use, so 1 to 3 actions. Make Galarian great again! I'll go through derangement syndrome. They also have Surrounded. When they feel cornered, the mob lashes out more recklessly. While the deluded mob is flanked, flail desperately and throw Detrius are DC 17 instead, and deal an additional 2 damage per action spent on the ability. This shit's fucking too real. And their ranged attack is 2-action ability. Throw a bunch of bullshit they have lying around at you. 10-foot burst, 30-foot range that deals bludgeoning damage. The fact that this is a fucking NPC, it's a gargantuan mob of just crazy motherfuckers, like flat earthers or anything like that you can think of, that are nuts and refuse to change their ways. It's peak. I'm gonna be right back real quick. I believe there's food out there waiting for me, so I'm gonna grab it real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I return. Moving on to Masterminds. Actually, I just want to look at this real quick. Why? I need to make something. I need to make like a short about this fucking enemy because this is nuts. This is a real enemy. You can throw this at people. I went to get dinner. I just got dinner too. Victim complex, irrational, flail desperately. This is fire. I love it. I not get to just steal your Cheetos? Good. Mine. And then we have Masterminds. These are your manipulation specialists. They have a bunch of bard stuff as well. You could probably see a lot of bardy stuffs in the villain category. They're very good at supporting their minions as well as coercing people to their side. Thanks, bards. We all know you're evil. Especially, I have to start getting ready to leave for work, but just seeing this much has gotten me really excited for this book, so I'll definitely have to pick up. You do! There's like 8 other categories of enemies in here, as well as troops and other rules to your players. Like there's a gun witch enemy in the occult section with rules on how to have a cool gun staff and have rules for gun staffs and stuff like that too. For like your maguses, your witches. Or is it magi? Magi? I don't know how you say it. You saw the gun witch art? I did not show it. I'm trying to remember which page it's on. Is it in the occult section? Give me a second. Table contents. Mystic. Is it mystic? Or would it be engineer? It's an engineer, I think. Where's the fucking gun witch lady? I can't remember where she is. Ah! Give me a second. Sorry, this is important because y'all need to see her. She's fucking fire. She's fine as fuck. Mavericks. Ah, that's the one. Yeah. Thank you. Look at her. Wood! She's such a baddie! Wood! Is that a flapper? Yes! Ow! Let's wait for a while. We're covering the John Charlatan now. We are covering villains, but someone in chat wanted to go and see what the gun witch looks like. And they have to. Gun witch plays like the NPC. They're rare. They play like a Magus with the witch dedication. They have Bewitched Shot, which is like spell striking, but with a magical bullet and all that shit. Bulletstorm, Hex Bullet, Firearm Recall, all that stuff like that. It's great. But we're going back to the villains. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about the flat earthers earlier. That was fantastic. Glad I got to see her quickly before heading out. Yeah. Have a good night. Also, is this Adobe? No, this is Firefox. Adobe runs like shit. I'm using my browser because it is way faster than actual Adobe Acrobat garbage. You have a good night too, Shaddy. You know, Masterminds. Like I said, they have a bunch of bardic stuff. They have sneak attack. They have great at fainting. A bunch of conspiration spells, Courageous Anthem, and Uplifting Overture. They use performance instead of diplomacy to make an impression instead of deception to impersonate, excuse me. These are just your huge nerds at the very end of like all like the cork board with all the strings leading to somebody, at least to them. They're the mastermind. The feint is even meaner because if they successfully feint you, you're off guard against the mastermind's melee attacks to the end of your next turn, so all of them. But if they crit succeed their feint against you, you're off guard against all attacks, not just the masterminds, which is mean. Also, this person could fuck me up. They're a champion of Rovagug. They will kill me. They have a little sidebar for giving other deities champions, but this is like an evil champion of Rovagug right here. I love their armor design. It's so fire. This looks like peak evil mean bitch with like the skull pauldrons and the skull chest piece. This person was definitely gonna kill and eat me. Any Rovaguggers in chat? I hope not. No eat bug. No bug eat people. And these guys even have like a champion's aura. Don't eat me! No! Bad chat. And their aura just makes enemies inside their aura have a minus penalty to their saves against fears, and enemies that end their turn in the aura can't reduce the value of its frightening condition below 1. Hey, thank you so much, Dog BB, for the raid! Hey everybody, welcome in! For anybody's new here, I'm Phoebe Bane, Goblin Magus VTuber extraordinaire. I talk about all sorts of tabletop games, and today we're reviewing the new Pathfinder 2nd Edition NPC Core, full of amazing new enemies and stuff to throw at your players, from troops of angry mobs that are... you guys gotta see this. This shit is the most realist thing in the world, and they made it into an enemy you can fight. It's called Deluded Mob. It's a troop of irrational people that are severely disconnected from reality. So they will not listen to anything you say that challenges their worldview. That's one of their abilities. They also have a victim complex that gives them a bonus to their will saves the more and more you beat them up, because you've given them opposition and they use that as proof that they're right. And they just flail desperately at you, and when backed into a corner, they get more angry and vicious. Which is the realest thing ever, and they made it into a fucking enemy you can fight. They just made a bunch of flat earthers into something you can kill. Or trying to kill you. And it is crazy. Show them the gun witch or gun wife. I'll show you the gun wife, gun witch again. Free fodder for an evil campaign? Exactly! Finished Alien Isolation early. Oh, I love that game! Wrong one. There it is. Gun witch. Look at this baddie! Look at her! She with a magic ass gun. She has magical bullets, can shoot a bunch of bullets. That's a staff that's also a gun. It is so peak. It is one bad bitch, yes! I love her! It's, don't spray me. It's so good. I love her design. And you can even make gun staffs now, because there's rules for gun staffs in this book now. You can have, like, one-handed guns become wands, while two-handed guns become staves. And you can just give them different adjustments, different stuff like that, and they tell you how to make them in this book, too. I'm gonna become a gunsmith and use it in place of a ring when I ask her to marry me. Based. Alright, what's next? Where were we at? We're in villain still. They're on evil champions. These guys even have the champion's aura that just makes you attack people whenever someone like attacks you. I don't remember which one. Was that Justice? No, that wasn't Justice. Which champion's aura is this? Which champion's reaction is this? But it's the one where they increase the damage they take in order to increase a bunch of damage against you. So if you punch them in the face, they increase their own damage by 2d6, then do 2d6 damage back to you. And they do extra damage to you on every subsequent attack against you because you decided to fight them. Does it have a vibration function? I imagine if you shoot it, it'll vibrate. I forgot there were guns as official thing, and now in PF2E, yeah, they've been a thing since year 2, back in 2020, I believe. A little uncommon, but they're really fun. Can you put a property rune on a gun staff? Yes, it functions as a gun primarily with the ability to put spells into it like a staff. Did you cover the Guns and Gears remaster? I did not, because it's not really big. Guns and Gears remaster was a bunch of small updates to the Gunslinger and the Inventor. Inventor got a bunch of tiny things, just adding more traits to stuff and improving some of the DCs from their what's it called? Their unstable actions. Gunslinger expertise is fucking amazing now. Do you still ignore armor? No, they don't. They still have, instead of ignoring armor and only affecting touch AC, like in Pathfinder 1E, Gunslingers themselves, the class, have a +2 bonus to attack rolls with firearms, stuff like that, so they have a higher chance to crit enemies, and just do more damage on a crit instead. So instead of just bypassing AC entirely and only affecting touch AC, if they hit you, they'll do middling damage, but if they crit you, they will explode your head. So they're very risk-reward, feast or famine. Like, you have a pistol that does 1d4 damage on a normal hit, but on a crit, it'll do 2d8 damage. And I like that a lot more, personally. Guns like it's legendary melee combination weapons now. They do! It's so good. Drifters and trigger brands are eating nice tonight. Yeah, no, works a lot better since repeated pointing out that early guns could not penetrate steel plate. They could not! Well, if you crit them, that means you hit them somewhere sensitive, like in like a little place in between where the armor connects, or like get them in the neck or something like that, which I like a lot. I subbed and then an ad break started, so I had to refresh. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. What's your favorite class and what kind of NPC would you like to see based on that class? Favorite class is hard for me because they keep coming out with new fucking amazing classes every single year. My favorite class used to be Monk, which is an entire category of martial artists in this book, and then it moved on to Kineticist when that book came out. And then moved on to Exemplar when that book came out. And now it's moving on to Commander when that book comes out this year. There is always Champion. And this is an enemy champion right here for you to go and kill. Axe Swipe. They have some devotion spells for Touch of the Void. They have the Fearsome Rune when they hold it, but not on the rune. They have the Fearsome Rune on their axe while they're holding it, but not on the axe itself. I'm so digging Swash now that I'm playing one. Swashbuckler had one of the biggest glow-ups in the remaster. It is so fucking fun. I do want to become a champion tied to the sun, so I can go no sun disc, unironically. I mean, hey. Sarenrae is one of the most popular deities you can worship, and she's the sun lady. Or you can be like me, and why worship? And why worship only one sun lady when you can worship the entire lesbian polycule of awesome ladies? With sun mommy, moon mommy, and art mommy. And worship all three of them at the same time. I love you, they're called the Prismatic Ray. Asterisk, they're no longer called the Prismatic Ray. But they used to be called the Prismatic Ray, and I'm gonna dead name that, because that's just fire. Can worship non-gods now and be declared. Moon Mommy is best. There's always a big fight between who's best, Moon Mommy or Sun Mommy. But I like Art Lady. She likes love and art and wants you to be yourself. I think that's fine. Oh yeah, I've been meaning to tell you some of the ideas I posted about a while back about how there are interesting ways to implement the development of early firearms. with different standard fantasy races, like how bows are actually better than early guns, but took too much training to be worth it. Once guns are widely available, which would lead to elves still using bows. I do like that, like elves using bows, but humans using, like, humans and goblins still like using guns. Because goblins have to be 50 years max, so fuck, I don't have time to learn how to bow, but I did invent a gun myself, and by that I mean I stole a dwarf's gun, filled it with too much gunpowder, and hope it doesn't blow my hand off like kill your entire family. And yes, Kitsune Koji is right. Bows are still more reliable in PF2E. They do less damage on a crit, but more overall, like, average damage, so it still works out that way. Goblin gun. There is, yeah, goblin guns in Pathfinder are nuts. The big boom gun is hilarious. They literally took the hand out of hand cannon and just have a cannon on their hand that is filled with too much gunpowder and will explode if they miss, but if they don't miss, it does a lot of damage. I like the late medieval period of knights with guns. The spoon gun is my favorite. The spoon gun is also hilarious. It's like a just a bunch of like old blunderbuss style shrapnel launchers filled with spoons, but it works like a sling almost, / catapult. I really like the late medieval period of knights with guns. Yeah! I was having a good time because like, what is it? Vivi was like talking to me in DMs about really cool, like how they used to have like pike formations with guns and stuff like that, and how I could use that to make, and I was like, I could use that to make a really cool troop and stuff like that, make my own custom troop with that type of enemy. Make it really hard, like just a really awful fight to go and try to go up against. They use silverware and cannons in desperate times, yes, but otherwise they'd have like balls of metal. And flintlocks require some complex clockwork, so again, you could have dwarves that flintlocks while humans have stuff like matchlocks. Yeah! Orcs still need DACA, though. Orcs can get the DACA. I don't care what thematic reasoning that why they wouldn't have it. I'm giving them a machine gun. There shouldn't be a lot of them, but there should be, like, all the big orc bosses have a machine gun, and everyone else has, like, dinky, awful guns. Or, like, not even guns, but, like, I want the big, cool guys at the very top to be like, anyways, whips out minigun. But only, like, 3 of them. Yeah, the orcs in Pathfinder we actually did invent a machine gun. They invented something called the Barricade Buster to go and fight off against anyone who tries to enslave them again, because in lore, they were enslaved for a period of time by Tar-Baphon, the giant evil lich undead bastard. And a half-orc inventor who learned from the dwarves who were the ones who created and invented firearms, learned from them and learned how to make a rotary machine gun almost that has like 8 bullets in it called a Barricade Buster that just fucking blows through meat and shit like that to go and fight off against undead hordes. So when Tar-Baphon came back and was like, hey, the goblins didn't work out and they helped all the humans escape, I'm gonna go and enslave you again, and the orcs just said, nah, and just unloaded machine guns into all his undead armies, and he was like, fuck it, I'm leaving, I guess. They were crank-driven repeating guns that were comically unreliable pretty early, actually, and took even longer to reload. I love that. Oh yeah, I fucking remember like seeing a picture and diagram of like someone recreating one of those old crank, like, duck, 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 duck guns. Hey, go, this is how you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So, Vivi, when are these going to be archetype options for us? I mean, some of these are already, like, a lot of these enemies are taking stuff from classes that already exist and giving them to NPCs, as well as other stuff like that. Like, the Gun Witch plays like a Magus with the Witch archetype. And yeah, I talked to Phoebe about Pike and Shot Tactics, how they edited the Age of Heavy Cavalry, which I got hiccup. I really like that idea, and I like the different patterns and stuff they showed, so I want to make like a big fuck-off troop thing with it, because they've teased a little bit, unintentionally, I believe, like, different, like, I'm guessing, like, not full-on mass combat rules for Pathfinder 2e, but, like, they didn't use the word troop, they used a different word, but it means big groups of enemies, so I'm assuming something that's going to be coming in Battlecry, the upcoming book, which is going to be all about battle and stuff like that. That's where the Commander and the Guardian class are going to be coming in. Which I can't wait to see how they work out with that type of stuff. Durgan Paladin, taste the pain bow. Yes, one of the orc gods even has that barricade buster as their deific weapon now. So you can have a divine machine gun if you're like, if you worship that orc deity, and you can be like, by the power vested in me. It'll be fun. Someone to play a fighter in a game who has a former doppelsoldier. I hope I didn't say that too bad. Has Sixrion ever gotten a 2E write-up? Maybe? I don't know if he got like a proper write-up. Thank you so much, Continue More Luck, for the resub! My SP is out for 2 days now, and I've already used half my phone's data, so I just installed Twitch to really give you some love, you rock. Thank you so much, Dustin! I hope you get your internet back soon. I hate it when my internet goes out. Double Soldier being guys with Zweihanders and Plate who are sent to the breakup pikes for. Wow, I love those guys. I love watching videos about them where there's just the one big guy swinging the one big sword, giant, just to fucking walk towards a bunch of guys who are like, I don't want to get ran on by this man. Oh yeah, they're called Double Soldier because they were paid double. Oh yeah, because like you had to be brave enough and also skilled enough to just walk at a big group of enemies swinging a sword bigger than yourself, or like around that, just in giant circles to stop people from going to places or just breaking up formations. It's so fun. I really like the what's it called? I'm trying to think. Like, just being like, yeah, cool. We need some guys to defend this emplacement. What do we do? Well, we've got pike guys. We've got Dave with a giant sword in the back. And they're like, give Dave with a giant sword in the back that one area, the choke point. And just have him spin that big sword in a circle for like 5 hours. And that shit's so funny to me. We give a Minotaur a punt gun? Yes, please. And then Despot is just has a bunch of sorceress stuff. I love, they're just like, yeah, this is like a dude who's going to use his horrible lies and awful mean shit to go and amass power. And through that, they will just go and punch you in the face and also just cast a bunch of divine innate spells that are like sorcerer spells and stuff like that. They have a bunch of bonuses to casting spells like Charm, Diabolic Edict, Enthrall, or Floating Flame. And Despot looks like he's going to throw a right hook but break his arm in the process. He does. He's definitely like only looking like that for like intimidation factor. This man cannot throw a punch. He's going to light me on fire with magic. Also, you have fun developments in cartridges before the modern brass cartridge. Like for quite a while, instead of measuring out powder and shit yourself, they just come in wax cartridges. You bite up with a ball and powder package. Oh yeah, I remember watching like a tiny documentary about like early firearms and stuff like that. That stuff is so like warfare and stuff like that is so interesting. What is a minigun? If not a magic item that casts max strength for force barrage. I gotta make that a thing now. I want to make like an enemy, like Goblin Mage, who has like a broken gun and doesn't know how to fix it, so they just keep casting Force Barrage and making it theme like all their other lesser Goblin friends that are like less on the totem pole and maybe less smart to not realize that they're not shooting the gun, they're just blowing people up with Force Barrage. I like that. Paper or wax are used in 1E. I don't remember what's used in 2E. I don't remember exactly how they do it. There are some cartridge weapons and stuff like that with like magazines and things. Don't spank me. That's illegal. And like, why does his shoes look like that? He's gonna try and throw his hip instead. That's what I mean. Like, he's definitely only like, he looks the look, but he cannot fight the fight. This guy is a lying, conniving deceiver who gets minions and stuff like that to go and work. Wow. Max damage! Let's go! Nice job. Yo, you caught fucking gummy worms. I love gummy worms. Dude, I need to get those trolley gummy worms again. Someone needs to buy me a bunch of gummy worms because I need that in my life. Those sour things fuck me up, but in a good way. Although I did make the wrong choice one time and I was like, I'm gonna order gummy worms, but I haven't had them in a while. And these gummy worms are really cheap off of Amazon. I'm gonna get a big box of gummy worms. They're really cheap. They were sugar-free too, so they're gonna be better for me, right? I made a horrible decision that day. If anyone doesn't know, sugar-free gummy worms and gummy products like that are like almost a laxative in that form, and they'll make you shit yourself uncontrollably, horribly. So like, I ate like an entire bag of sugar-free gummy worms one day because I was like, I was depressed, I was having a good time, so I just ate a lot of gummy worms. And I was violently ill for like 2 days straight. Bad time. Don't eat anything sugar-free when it comes to gummy products. You'll die. Don't eat the evil sugar-free ones. Get the most sugary, most sour, most sinful, evil trolley gummy worms, and you'll have a better time. But also, yeah, the reason bows disappeared from the battlefield shortly after guns became widespread wasn't because they were better, but because armies were depending on recruiting people who already knew how to use one, since they required so much practice, and people like hunters and shepherds who would have learned how to use a bow were just using guns instead. So they're archers to recruit. Are you diabetic? No, I was like, I'm gonna be honest, it was just they were cheaper. They were just cheaper than actual gummy worms. And I was like, oh, just, you know, they're like $2 less. Like, it can't be that bad. And then I died for like 2 days. It was not a good time. Would not recommend. Gondor calls for aid. I don't remember the crappy pasta, no. Interrogators. Why does this interrogator look so fucking rad? He has a fucking switchblade. He's got the boots on. He's got blood splattered on his fancy ass scarf. This man means business. And if you'll notice, he has a healer's toolkit on him. So he'll fix you up just to fuck you up more. This is mean. He uses a war razor, much like myself. If anyone doesn't know, my knife is actually a reflavored war razor. It's a really fun weapon. Sweeney Todd? I haven't seen Sweeney Todd. I only got my reputation. Liz, you gotta watch Sweeney Todd right now. Pretty Women, sung by Captain Jack Sparrow and also Snape from Harry Potter, is such a fucking amazing song. Never bothered to do a fantasy setting. It would either be Pike and Shot Era or full Bronze Age. You don't worship Norcorber, do you? No, I worship the prismatic ray. I love my space mommies. My lesbian space mommies. Yeah, rip Alan Rickman. Even if you can't see the full movie, just listen to Pretty Women by Johnny Depp and Alan Rickman, and you'll have a good time. Sweeney Todd is fire. But yeah, no. He has a War Razor that does 1d4 damage, Deadly D8, Backstabber, Agile. War Razor's a fucking awesome weapon. I love it the most. But he also does an extra 1d8 mental damage to anyone who's frightened through his Torment ability. And he also has the Hobble ability, which is a 1 action. If he has a creature grabbed or restrained, they can then take 2d6 bludgeoning damage with a basic DC 23 fortitude save. If they fail to save, they also gain a condition of the interrogator's choice of either clumsy or enfeebled or drained, as he cuts up your muscle tendons. What was that? Wait, I just got back. This guy's artless. Fuck, he is. He's got the fucking blood splatter. He's got the boots. He's got the fucking, what's it called? Like the War Razor in hand. He's got the scarf. This man's dripped out to fuck you up. Oh, yeah, the fishing medium. Yeah, I have it just because, you know, gives people something to do. Well, I'm just fucking blabbing. the Blood and Fear. To action ability, he makes a strike with his slashing melee weapon. If he hits and deals damage, they take additional 1d4 persistent damage and a frightened 1. Or double both of those on a critical hit. Each of the interrogator's other enemies in a DC 30 emanation around the target that witnesses the bloodshed must succeed a will saving throw or be frightened 1. And again, he does an extra 1d8 mental damage on anyone he frightens. So this guy is very much about putting the fear, I'll say of God, but there's many gods, in you. Don't poke me with your swordfish, that's weird. And also sounds kind of sexual, oddly. And then I love this upcoming enemy, the Reckless Scientist. It's so fun. It's just literally a mad scientist type thingy. If they're trying to break the rules of reality no matter the cost. They have a bunch of alchemical stuff, as you can probably imagine. And they have the Unstable Collection ability. The Reckless Scientist carries a collection of poorly sewed alchemical items, 3 elixirs of life, and 6 alchemical grenades. They replenish these items each day using scavenged materials. The grenades deal either acid, cold, or fire damage, plus 2 persistent damage and 2 splash damage of the same type. I found out what that noise was. Okay. How was your day, Phoebes? It was great. Thank you for asking. I got to go home from work early. I got to take a nap. And I get to read awesome books that I got. Literally the books, I got the email that my books have shipped and got the email of these PDFs literally as I got off of work. So it was like peak timing. As I say, the laws of reality itself that holds our universe together are made to be broken. Yeah, but I don't want this guy to do it. He's unstable. And by that I mean he has unstable explosion. When an attacker scores a critical hit against the Reckless Scientist, one of the scientist's alchemical bombs bursts. If it was a bomb, the alchemist takes damage from the bomb, and any creature adjacent to the alchemist takes splash damage. Any other item is wasted. Oh, have a good night, Frux. Thank you for stopping by. So segue, that's my job. Thanks for the babbling. Thank you for stopping by and listen to my babbling. And yeah, they have a bunch of grenades like that. They have Reckless Alchemy, which lets them interact to draw an item and then mix stuff together and create either 2 alchemical grenades or 2 elixirs of life into 1 item. And then to make a crafting check to do so, if a failure, the item is inert. In a crit failure, it explodes, dealing 3d6 piercing damage to the Reckless Scientist itself. And if success, the new item has full effects of both component items, and the Reckless Scientist can activate it. If they don't activate it before the end of the turn, the item explodes as crit failure. So, they can mix 2 different bombs, mix them together, so that instead of when it does 2d6 acid, when it's 2d6 fire, mix them together, they now do 46 damage total, 2 of each damage, plus the 4 splash damage and the 4 persistent damage, which is really good. Or they can just mix 2 alchemical healing things together to heal themselves a lot, or they explode and horribly and die. Oops. Now, I'm going to give a trigger warning up front real quick for this next enemy, the Flesh Warper. As you can probably guess from this thing, there's a lot of body horror involved, and if you don't like seeing blood, viscera, or exposed meat / organs / a lot of teeth and shit like that, look away now. Because this lady is literally wearing a dress of meat. I love it myself. I'm a big fan of body horror, and I love this. Like, this whole fit is fire, but if you don't like it, look away. Yeah, it gives very Simsy vibes from fucking, what's it called? Vampire Masquerade. Look at this fit! Look at it! Look how cool it is! Neat dress! It's like if Lady Gaga was a murderer. Damn is right! Look at that! I love the chest thing where the teeth come together. It's so big. It is metal as fuck. Flesh Warpers are metal. They're horrible, awful people. They'll fuck you up. Smash next. It is amazing. She's so happy. They have a +1 scalpel, which works as a dagger. It's just amazing art. This book is full of nothing but amazing, awesome art for every single, like, art piece in this book. It's nothing but fire. That's a serious dress made out of gabagool. Yes! And they're an alchemical flesh warper, which is even worse for you because she starts with 5 alchemical flesh warping concoctions that work as a grenade that deals 46 damage of poison plus flesh mutation, which literally mutates your character. You roll a d4. You must pass a DC 25 fortitude save at each of any of your turns, and if you succeed, you end the mutation effect. Yeah, no, she's not a flesh warp. She makes you into a flesh warp. Boots with the teeth. Yeah, it's literally chompy boots with eyeballs on them. You get spongy flesh, which gives you weakness 5 to physical damage. Caustic blood, which means you take 2d4 persistent acid damage that can't be removed normally, but ends when the mutation does. Sprouting eyes. Your eyes pop out like eye stalks on a snail. You become dazzled, which means you make a DC 5 flat check to target anything. But you also need a flanking. Ow. Boots with the grrr. Or mutated mind. You become confused. Which means that you just attack anyone randomly around you. It can still recover as noted in the condition, but if it does, it remains off guard until the mutation ends. That's one of her abilities. That's only one. You don't want to get hit by that. If you do get hit by it, though, and you recover from it, or you just hit by it in general, you are immune to the condition for another 24 hours, so you can't just get mutated and mutated and mutated until you're, like, nothing but a pile of debuffs and pain. But she has an ability called Conduct the Experiment. Well, action ability. The Flesh Warper assesses vulnerabilities in a creature's anatomy. It's a medicine check against the fortitude DC of one living creature they can see within 60 feet. On a success, the Flesh Warper's melee strikes you an extra 2d8 precision damage against that creature for 1 minute, or until they critically hit you, whichever comes first. Use this action again, designates a new target, and ends the effect of any previous target. They can target an individual no more than once per day with the ability. Yeah, imagine you talk to her and the dress starts going like, kill me. And you're like, not now, dress, we're busy. So using their amazing medical knowledge, because they do have a lot of training in medicine, a plus 16, and also plus 17 in flesh warping lore, so they know how your body works and know how to exploit it perfectly and cut just the right places to make you get fucked up. But they also have an ability called Restore My Masterpiece. Action ability. If they are holding or wearing a healer's toolkit, they stitch the wounds of an adjacent willing aberration or creature they modified using flesh warping, which then gives them 20 HP and then temporarily immune for 1 day. So they can battle medicine one of their own flesh warped creatures they've created. Baby, the background music is sending me back to 2010 AMVs. Listen, okay, I'm not listening to guilty pleasure vibes. You're Going Down by Sick Puppies is fire, and I will not have any other say in it. You're lucky I don't put on Creed or Nickelback, okay? Let me listen to my divorced dad music in peace. In fact, there's a flesh warp heritage that makes you effectively immune to her. Yes, indeed. You've been here once before, you've done this shit. I already served my time, you can come and take me. I just put my finger in the dress's mouth and go, shh, not now. AMVs are peaking, their opinion is valid. Listen, Nickelback is good. I will say, Nickelback gets a lot more hate than they deserve. Because, yeah, some of their songs are goofy, but, like, they're also jams. Next is one of the heavy flesh warp places. There's a couple of them. There's the Underdark with the drowned stuff like that love flesh warp people alchemically. The Nexian flesh forges, or where they take volunteers, quote unquote, to flesh warp them in awful ways to add them to their military. There's the mana waste, which is just the awful radioactive magical storm of death and pain, which can magically mutate you into a horrible creature. Sometimes you might get dragged into the crashed down spaceship that exists in that one desert that horribly mutates and forms you into a messed up, mutated, awful, fleshy cyborg creature. There's a lot of different places that can flesh warp you. In a lot of different ways. There's a lot of variable ways to flesh warp you. So just don't leave your house. And hope this lady doesn't come a knocking. I just want to say Flesh Warp sounds like a band name. It does! I'm writing that down now. That's my next band name. Look at this paragraph. Every time I do it makes me catch. Listen, I'm not a fan of Farafrig. I like the I want a Farafrig hoodie though, because I want to wear the hoodie like it wears itself as a hoodie. But the fact that it wears itself as a hoodie, it weirds me out. It freaks me out. Why is there 2 mouths? Why is it like alien little mouth, big mouth? I'm just remembering the video that's just, look at this graph! I love that one. My favorite personal Nickelback thing is in the Rockstar song where he's like, I want to be a rock star. In that part, that there's randomly in that song, because there's a guy narrating along the song, he's like, been there, done that, what do you want? And randomly, he's like, Nickelback talks about eating food, and all he hears, I want a quesadilla. And I love that. I will never not love the part so much. Just randomly in a Nickelback song, just being, I'd be like, a quesadilla, please. I want a quesadilla. I'm hungry. Quesadilla. Some Wilford Brimley ass sounding man just being like, quesadilla. It's my favorite thing ever. Because I also love quesadillas, but like, now's not the time. I'm learning about why he wants to be a rock star. He wants an entire bathroom you can play baseball in, and you want a quesadilla? Come on. Think big. Moving on. I am hungry. I didn't eat dinner yet. I'm gonna eat after stream. Next up, there's a gang leader. These ones have a lot of abilities like the criminals had back in the criminal section. Deny advantage, nimble dodge. They do have evasive reflexes though, which means if they get a success on a reflex save, they get a success instead, like a rogue does. But yeah, there's a lot of rogue abilities just like the criminals had. They got Brutal Rally, where as one action ability, they roll a critical hit against a creature. All allies that can see the gang leader gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls at the start of the next turn. Gang leader's next turn, I should specify that. There's a gang up, which means no matter where they're positioning, as long as the gang leader is next to one of your allies, and the gang leader's like minion goon is also next to your ally, but not flanking them, they're still off guard. And of course, they have sneak attack and surprise attacker, as we talked about earlier. So I'm not going to go on the gang leader too long. But now we have Batman. We have Batman is in the villain section. Wealthy vigilante. By night, this member of the nobility dons a false identity to mete out violence, action legal justice on petty criminals and the downtrodden. They're possessed by an unwavering self-righteousness and the best equipment money can buy. It's Batman. They have crime-fighting pouches, which function as sleeves of storage, a +1 striking flintlock, musket, lifting belt, striking longsword, moderate healing potions, and studded leather armor. They have a bunch of custom-made gear. The wealthy vigilante support team has spent years tailoring and tuning the vigilante's equipment. Anyone but the vigilante attempting to use any of these items takes the same drawbacks they would if they were shoddy items. These particularities make the items have no value if sold. I alt-tab back in, your hair was hiding the null part of vigilante arsenal, so I had to do a double take. I like that. But yeah, no, this is literally Batman in the villains section. Look at him, he's Batman. He gonna kill you. He's got that drip though. Talisman Prepper. Vigilante goes on patrol with 6 talismans of 6th level or lower. Typical set includes a Fear Gem, Emerald of Grasshopper affixed, with a Dragon Turtle Scale, Effervescent Ampule, Feather Stepstone, and Iron Cube in storage. Yes, Catman with a gun. He's got a musket. He will kill you. He will shoot you. Calculated Strike. 2-action ability. The Wealthy Vigilante makes a melee strike. If the strike hits, the Vigilante can then shove the target. This shove uses the same multiple attack penalty as the strike and doesn't count towards the multiple attack penalty, but Vigilante must strike after the pushed creature. If this strike misses, the Vigilante can step up to 3 times, each of which must make it further from the target. The Vigilante can hide if, after the steps, they have cover or concealment from the target. And there's a Quick Replace, which is a reaction. The Wealthy Vigilante activates one of their affixed talismans. And they have a hand free. As soon as one of their talismans burns out, the Wealthy Vigilante pulls out another from their crime-fighting pouches and deftly affixes it to replace the used talisman. I just love that Batman is in the villain section. And they even have a talk about what should be in the Vigilante's arsenal to keep your players guessing of shit. It's just so funny that it's literally just like, this is Batman. They're just calling him out. Wealthy vigilante that uses all of their money and anything that the best money, equipment money can buy to fucking get out extrajudicial justice on petty criminals in the town Charlatan and mete out violence. I would be calling that cat boy afraid of twink death. When Cat Noir is tired of your shit. Yes, I love it so much. I was like, hi Callie, how are you? I just love that there's Batman. And he has the fucking tool belt and shit. He has everything. And you have warmongers. There's no image for them, right? No. Warmongers are your like starting to get into like the spicy territory of enemies progressing working on Pathfinder. That's fair. Level 10 onwards, these are like a trained enemy. They have reactive strike. They have pain trading, so they treat the value of any drained, dying, enfeebled, or sickened, and wounded conditions affect them as one lower. They still have the conditions, but they only treat it as one lower for like purposes of like stats and stuff like that. They always use warfare lore for rolling initiative. And they have a bunch of shit. They have a big battle axe as well as a composite longbow. Sneak standout ability is the lore one. Yeah. Patch and set isn't one action ability once per day. The Warmonger has a hand free. The Warmonger grits their teeth and ties a wound or sets a bone or joint. They regain 20 HP. I like lore initiative stuff. I'm glad the commander class gets that. I love patch and set, literally in the middle of combat, just like shove their shoulder back into place once per day to give themselves like free 20 HP. But that's how manipulate, so you can reactive strike it. Power through, 2 action ability. They're wielding 2 melee weapons and aren't fatigued. They attempt up to 3 melee strikes against different creatures. These count towards their multiple attack penalty normally, but they don't increase until after the attacks are made. However, the Warmonger overexerts themselves with the attacks being fatigued, but they can attempt a DC 30, before they save to recover from this fatigue condition at the start of each of their turns. So if you're actually, they can just lash out with a bunch of like 3 attacks, but they become a little tuckered out afterwards. I do love their Warcry ability. It's a reaction. Once per hour, the Warmonger critically hits or knocks out an enemy. The Warmonger screams a battle cry. Each ally in a 30-foot emanation that hears and deals initial 1d6 damage with its strikes for 1 round. So they just critically hit you and you're like, ah! And the allies are like, ooh, let's go poggers! Ooh! Yeah, they monger that war. And then the last ability is Sight Prey, a 1 action ability. They single out one enemy to bring them down with ranged attacks till the end of their current turn. Warmonger's ranged strikes against the creature gain a plus for both to attack rolls and deal an extra 3d6 precision damage. And on top of that, each time the Warmonger hits that creature with a ranged strike, the creature takes a 10-foot penalty to its speeds for 1 minute and falls 20 feet its flying. I misheard War Cry and it heard War Crime. I mean, that's kind of fair for what this is. They are an enemy warlord. So, like, it fits. Plus, that Sight Prey is pretty much a war crime in and of itself. A single action, fuck you to an enemy, extra 36 precision damage, and makes them slow and fall if they're flying. That's mean. That's a war crime. And then next up we have Hero Hunter. I love this one for flavor alone. Hero Hunter. Some hunters grow bored of simple beasts and monsters. For them, a battle-tested warrior is the finest prey. Man, the most dangerous game of all! Man! Imagine being like Kraven the Hunter and you're like, alright, I've hunted every beast in the world, time to kill Spider-Man. But in Pathfinder. It's literally you going out of your way to like, these heroes are really strong. That's what you said when your party goes full murder hobo? Yeah, I guess, but at the same time, I really like the thought of them just being like, these people are doing really good, but at the same time, they seem really strong, and I want to prove that I'm the strongest. I'm going to kill them. Yeah, they are a trapper. They carry a lot of stuff to create 2 alarm snares, 2 grasping snares, 1 snagging hook snare, 1 stunning snare. They just kind of put them around everywhere. They have the nimble dodge feature from the rogue, which means they can use a reaction to give themselves +2 bonus to AC against a triggering attack. Me! Hey, Moondall, how are you? You hunt goblins, they are dangerous, noisy, and smell weird. I am neither of those. None of those. I think there's only two things. I am none of the sort. Yeah, what's your war cry? I will now commit various unforgivable war crimes. You just have the local king be like, oh, look how strong they are, and somewhere's like, oh, I gotta kill them. Grab cooking all day? Hell yeah, what are you cooking? They also have reactive strike, because of course they do. They are a trained deadly murderer. And you have deadly snares ability, which is a fun of they let them craft a snare that would normally take 1 minute in 3 actions instead, and then just put it down. And make a sandwich? Hell yeah. Made a feast? Ooh! You know the next one? That's fair. We'll get there in a second. I also love it. The art is fire. You have Felling Shot. It's a 1-action ability. The hero hunter makes a ranged strike. If hits, it deals damage to the flying target. The target falls 120 feet, but takes no damage from the fall. They then can't fly, leap, or levitate, or otherwise leave the ground until the end of the hero's next turn. And Hunter's Precision. It's a stance, 1-action stance. All the hero hunter strikes deal initial 2d8 precision damage, and the range increment for the ranged weapon strikes is 20 feet longer than normal. And if the hunter gets a critical hit with the weapon strike, the target also takes 2d6 bleeding damage. So they just take 1 action, go to a stance, kill you. That's it. That's really all it is. Oh no, y'all haven't done anything wrong. I just want to kill you. I love that, honestly. I just love that vibe where it's like, these guys are helping out society really good, but damn, do I want to prove that I'm better. And then next up we have World Ender. This is the rare level 16 creature. Look at them. Move out of the way. Look at how fucking cool they are. Wood, number 7. They are a primal spellcaster. Resistant to fire. Unlike most villains, World Enders are unburdened by nuance. Their ultimate goal is simple, if lofty: destroy the world and everyone in it. They will kill you. They have a Staff of Fire, a bunch of prepared spells like Blazing Bolt, Fire Body, Volcanic Eruption, Chain Lightning, Floating Flame, Wall of Fire. All the fire and lightning kill spells they have it. Overwhelming Energy. 1-action spell shape. If the next action the World Ender uses is to cast a spell, the spell ignores 20 resistance to the energy damage. Applies to all damage the spell deals, including persistent damage and the damage caused by an ongoing effect of the spell. Immunities are unaffected. But also, they have the best action in the entire game. Free action, monologue, once per round. Throughout combat, the World Ender ceaselessly expounds upon the righteous reasons for their destructive aims and the futility of their enemies' efforts to stop them. They get a +1 bonus to will saves and a +2 bonus to their damage rolls with their spells. Each time they take this action again, the bonus increases by 1 and 2 respectively. The monologue ends, and the bonuses are lost if the World Ender becomes unable to act or speak, or if they end their turn without having taken this action. You sly dog, you caught me monologuing! I love it so much. It's so good. They can also beat your ass, too. The staff is a 2-handed D8, so they can do 2d8 plus 10 bludgeoning damage, plus 3d6 fire damage on hit. And if you get like close, they'll beat you up. If you get far, they'll spam spells on you the whole time. It's just a really fun enemy. Oh, I love them. But yeah, that was all the criminals and all the villains. But like I said, there's like 8 more categories. There's artisans, criminals, artisans, courtiers, devotees, downtrodden, engineers, explorers, healers, laborers, martial artists, mavericks, which you saw the gun, which was one of them, mercenaries, military, mystics, officials, performers, primalists, scholars, and seafarers, as well as the ones we covered today. And if any of those interest you, or the ones I already talked about earlier today, as well as the improved troop rules, any way to go and make answers to adjustments to any of these I've already talked about today. And a bunch of cool, there's stuff for making gun staves, forbidden books we saw earlier. There's a romance/relationship and advancement section of this book that teaches you how to go and have cool, like, NPC camaraderie with your players /romance if you want to have that be a thing. There's all that and more in this book. I highly recommend picking it up. You can pre-order it now. and it comes out officially. I'm trying to remember. What day does NPC Core come out? I believe March 18th. I think it is March 5th. It is. And when it comes out, it'll also be dropping an official Foundry VTT NPC Core token pack. Can I run us the world ender? Probably not. And I think they're very much. I think you're part of the world they want to end. But maybe. It's never off the table unless your GM says so. The only action is genius. I'm stealing that. It is peak. It is peak villain. I recommend stealing it from that and putting it on every enemy ever. And yeah, there's over 250 NPC stat blocks in this book. We only covered like 20 of them max. Get this book. You have to buy it. But I did promise we'd also go over some of the Rival Academies things. Rival Academies is a wonderful, amazing, pretty book. I love it. It's just a fun time thing. A book covering, I don't remember what it's called, but it's just a bunch of magical schools coming together to go and have a competition to see who could kill the most demons that came out of the world moon after they sealed it up. It is so good. It is chock full of lore and awesome things for each and every one of the different schools they talk about. I'm not going to talk about everything in this book, obviously, because I want you guys to pick it up and buy it yourself. The Rune Lord, I'm going to say there's a Rune Lord class archetype for the wizard. It is fire. It is like 3 or 4 pages long of just nothing but awesome stuff, awesome spells for the sins themselves. I love the Lust spell lets you make an enemy. You pretty much make an enemy get down Mr. President for you. And there's a bunch of awesome stuff. There's a Magus school all about using water and improvised weapons to go and make the improvised weapons stronger with your water and breaking them and doing more effects based on breaking your weapons. Rune Lord fucks. I'm not gonna talk about Rune Lord though, because that one's long and also in depth. And I want you to buy the book to get that one. I'm going to talk about 2 archetypes today. Lepstad you talk about you're playing a Lepstad graduate right now. There's an amazing archetype for that we're going to talk about. As well as the what's it called? What was I going to grab? Oh yeah, the Resurgent Maelstrom Magus and the Unbreaking Waves Monk feats. We're talking about those today. But I do recommend you reading this book exclusively for the lore, because there's a lot of really good lore covering a bunch of awesome academies like you see here. I love the stuff they did about, I can't never pronounce his name. It's the big elephant. I think it's Kobe Slarney. I think that's how you say it. I don't want to fucking butcher the big elephant that's psychic and also has a 3rd eye that also leads to a giant vault full of a bunch of stuff that was lost to dreams and things like that. Of course, Magambia is there, yes. You can't have a book about Magical Academies without having the Magical Academy. I love Kobe Slarney the most. And the Academy Reclamation is really cool. Elfin of Jondale? No. This is a fey creature. But yeah, it's a fey school. It's amazing. It's so cool. I'm gonna go there just to show you one art of it, and then we'll go and move on to the other ones. Look at it. Look at him. Look at this friend. I love them. It's a giant three-headed elephant. There's an entire school on his back. The elephant's name is Cobus Larney. The school is named Cobus Larney, and the elephant is its headmaster. This elephant pretty much goes around and teleports in between planes of existence, stuff like that. It is very first world. It literally has a bunch of Fae students, stuff like that just go teleport here and there through different planes for studying and stuff like that. And they talk about in this book, they talk about how like Cobus Larney had to be like, hey, Fae guys, I know you haven't been here for, like, some of you guys haven't been here. You can die here permanently. Don't do that. He is the magic school bus, yes. And there's a whole section talking about how, like, there's a bit of a culture shock for Fae coming from the first world to the Golarion for the first time, and I love it. Yeah, no, Reclamation is really cool and awesome about reclaiming their long-lost magic and stuff like that from, like, their old ruins of their society after the world when all that stuff happened. It finally got sealed. Lebstadt is my favorite. We're gonna go talk about some of the stuff in the Monastery of Unbreaking Waves. I'm not gonna go over any of the lore stuff in depth because, again, this is a lore book. I want you to read the lore stuff. There's a bunch of cool feats you can see. I'm gonna skip past those because I want to go to the monk feats. Yeah, it's a school book. It's called Rival Academies, Lost Omens Rival Academies. There's a bunch of cool new stances. Flood stance, Reflective Ripple stance got reprinted here, so it's now officially remastered. As well as Waterfowl stance, which is new. This is all about, I'm going to talk about Waterfowl stance because it's really great. It's all about weapons and shit. Which I love stances that are about weapons. In your hand, swords dance like rainfall over the waves. Who can tell where the storm ends and the sea begins? Developed by Starmaster Ganil to compete with the House of Untwisting Iron, which is another fun time weapony stance. This stance integrates fluid swordplay into even the simplest movements. Long Waterfowl stance, the Dunpada, Scimitar, Talbar, and Zulfikar are granted the monk trait for you. And when you tumble through a creature space or leap over a creature while wielding one of these weapons, you can deal the creature 1d6 slashing damage. This damage is increased to 2d6 if the weapon has greater striking, and 3d6 if it has major striking. Paizo loves monk stances. They do. I love them too. I gotta tell my mod Lumi about this. Yeah, free damage. If you can tumble through somebody, it's free damage. Because remember, people are like, why would I go and take one of them monk weapons if it don't get as much damage as me punching them with another stance? And they're like, fuck you, fine, take it. Have extra 3d6 damage. You'll do it now, pussy. And you're like, yes, please, thank you. I'm sorry, Paizo, I didn't mean it. So, like, yeah. It's peak. I love any support for weapon monks. I don't remember. Does Waterfowl stance have another feat? I'm trying to remember. Yes, it does. Snakebird's Shadow. That's the one I was looking for. When Waterfowl stance has 2 action ability. If you are in Waterfowl stance and are wielding a monk weapon of the sword group, Kano developed this technique through observing the sharp-beaked darter fish, Prada Homnum's waters, seeking to match their speed and suppleness with the elemental flash of his blade. Make a melee strike with the required weapon against each enemy in a 15-foot line as a razor-sharp shadow of water surges from your blade. Each attack counts as your multiple attack penalty, but you do not increase your penalty until you have made all of your attacks. So this is a 15-foot line. It goes... So now you have range as well. And it's still melee. And it doesn't have any map on it until after you've already made all the attacks, which could be up to 3 people. The stance is peak, and I will not hear otherwise. Ow! Thank you for the biddies! One of my TJRPG groups is going to be trying Pathfinder 1. We'll likely move to it at some point after. Yeah, let's go! Let's fucking go! Ah! Yay! Gummy sharks! Ugh, I want... Man, there's a lot of really awesome water-themed feats, as you can probably guess here. Like waves, dashes on rocks, lessons of flux, wake to strike. A lot of these are really cool. I'm not going to go over all of them because I want to move on to the actual Magus study that I really love. It's grown on me. I didn't like it last night, but I like it now. And it's called the Resurgent Maelstrom Hybrid Study. While fate may conspire to strip you of your armaments, you'll never helpless. For you, anything can be a dangerous weapon. Bolstered by the might of towering waves and crushing tides, you know these tools are transient, and so you think nothing of shattering and reforming them with your magic. Kind of disappointed Waterfowl stance isn't an unstriking one, though. Effective liberals bludgeoning, right? Yeah. Guess you gotta go tiger stance for that forever. Well, your attacks with improvised weapons do not take the normal -2 item penalty. And while you wield an improvised weapon, streams of water flow from your limbs to surround the weapon, granted to get the water trait. The improvised weapons have a minimum damage die of 1d6 or 1d4 if the improvised weapon is agile. Effects that apply runes to your unarmed attacks, like Runic Body or Hand of Mighty Blows, also apply those runes to your non-magical improvised weapons. The improvised weapon also gains the additional trait depending on how many hands it takes to wield. A one-handed weapon improvised weapon gains the Backstabber trait. If it already have the Backstabber trait, double the amount of additional precision damage. A two-handed improvised weapon gains the Forceful trait. Already have Forceful trait, increase the number of weapon damage dice the weapon has, as if it was one higher for the purpose of calculating the additional damage. While you're in Arcane Cascade stance, you can manipulate the water around your improvised weapon, making it cut like a knife or bash with the force of falling rocks. The weapon gains the versatile traits for these types of damages that it doesn't normally deal. For instance, an improvised weapon that normally deals bludgeoning can do piercing or slashing traits. Also the Conflux spell, which I don't like the Conflux spell. I'm gonna start off by saying I have issues with this. I like it, but I have issues with it. This is really fun and really cool, but I have my problems. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna give it a fair, little shake at it. Conflux spell, Turbulent Tide. One action, focus spell. When you're wielding an improvised weapon, you cause a sheath of water from the improvised weapon it surrounds to surge outwards with stupendous force as you attack. Make a melee strike with your improvised weapon. The weapon then breaks, and each creature adjacent to you must succeed a fortitude saving throw or be against your spell DC or be pushed 5 feet back away from you. And flip back on a critical failure. You can strike after the target of your strike if they are pushed away from you, but must move the same direction. However, if the item has a hardness greater than your level, or if it's an artifact, cursed item, or other object that's difficult to break or destroy, it doesn't break anything. No one needs to make a fortitude save. You hear that a lot. You hear that a whole lot. If your weapon cannot break, it does not break, and you don't do anything special, but you just use the action anyways and the focus spell and the focus point. You hear that a lot. Also, why would I want to do this? Use one action to hit somebody and then maybe push them back 5 feet if they fail against your spell DC. It's not spell or class DC, which is higher. It's specifically spell DC. Which, if you're Magus, you're probably going to dump that stat in favor of strength or dexterity, like most players do, because you don't need your spell DC when you hit someone with a spell strike, because it's a Magus class. And then it breaks your weapon, so you got to use another action to grab another weapon out of something to go and pick it up or something like that, because you just broke your last weapon. So this does not feel worth it at all, ever. Thank you for the head pat. But yeah, no, this one makes me a little angry. It's just a tiny bit angry. Because, why would I ever use this? It costs a focus spell in order to break my own weapon and have an enemy maybe, just maybe, get pushed 5 feet away. I'm good. That's a lot of cost. That's a lot of action cost. I gotta use another action to pick up a weapon afterwards. It's basically 2 actions, but I had to use an interaction action, which means I can get reactive striked if I do it. It's just a lot of shit. Not a fan. There are a lot of cool feats, but as I said beforehand, some of them just don't work if your thing doesn't break. If your improvised weapon is too cool, this is all about breaking your improvised weapons, and then having to grab another one, but for a rider or other effect. And I can get behind some of them, but I feel like some of them take too long to come off. Some of them are what's an 8th level feat that fixes something? It's like an 8th level band-aid feat. That's already 8 levels of you breaking your shit every time you try to attack somebody with something cool. Convergent Tides. If you have Arcane Cascade, your footwork is like the convergence of tides, granting your body supernatural power and fluidity. While you're in Arcane Cascade, you ignore difficult terrain caused by water, such as walking along a flooded path or swimming through water. That will never come up, ever. Yeah, I get that though. You can't just buy an adamantine bar and use it forever. I've always argued that you can use that much more. It's not an improvised weapon. Yeah, okay, but at the same time, that's such an I feel like there's the cost isn't worth anything like that. It's awful action economy. I get to use my weapon once, and I have to go and find another one on the ground somewhere or in my back. I have a backpack full of table legs. I gotta keep rummaging around to grab them off of. That sucks, dude. That's so many actions wasted. I could just stab a man again. But you know, Convergent Tides will never come up ever. I have been playing this game for like almost 6 years now because it came out in 2019. It's 2025 now. Alpha Action Economies is the Magus motto. That's the worst part. That is why it sucks so bad. Because the Magus is already action starved in between recharging its spell strike and just using 2 action spell strikes, something like that. Your action economy is already stunted. Between having to move, having to recharge, having a spell strike, then I have to use an extra action on top of that just to pull out a weapon. That makes it doubly bad. It's like, why would you make its awful action economy even worse? But yeah, Convergent Tides is so situational. I have never once had to go and swim in the middle of combat. So like, it feels like a wasted feat if you take that. It's so situational. I'm not a fan of that one. Shattering Spell Strike fucks though. I love this. Shattering Spell Strike makes up for the action economy slightly. 2 action ability. Prerequisite, you have Resurgent Maelstrom, Hybrid Study, and have Spell Strike. Requirements, you're an Arcade Cascade stance and wielding an improvised weapon. You intentionally channel a rampaging cascade of magic through your weapon, breaking it and dealing more damage. Make a Spell Strike against a target with your improvised weapon. If the attack hits, you deal an additional 2d6 force damage as your improvised weapon breaks. The spell used with the Spell Strike was a cantrip or focus spell, increases additional damage by the spell's rank. But again, if your item has a hardness greater than your level, or if it's an artifact, cursed item, or other item that's difficult to break or destroy, it doesn't break and you don't deal damage. YouTube chat just said, takes 2 turns to get into stance, maybe blow up your opponent, weapon breaks, now what? For real. But Shattering Spell Strike is great. It's just extra free damage on a thing you're already going to do at the cost of exploding your weapon. That's why I'm like, Convergent Tides, meh. Turbulent Tide sucks. Shattering Spell Strike makes up for it. But it's level 4, so you gotta wait until 4 levels you breaking your shit just to break your shit slightly cooler. Thank you so much for the gifted sub! Surface Tension is the bandit feat I was talking about. Level 6, if you're wielding a broken weapon, as one action, you can encase the pieces of your broken weapon together with the water you pull from your surrounding environment. The weapon's broken condition is temporarily suppressed, and the weapon deals an additional amount of damage equal to twice the number of weapon damage dice. This damage can't be changed to any other type. This weapon also gets the Deadly D8 trait. If the weapon already has Deadly D8, you increase the damage dice by 1 step, or to D8, whichever's higher. The first time you use this weapon to spell strike or get a critical success, the attack of the weapon is completely destroyed. Problem. It costs an action. So instead of dropping and picking up a new weapon, you do that instead. But you still have to restart your spell strike. This is another action you have to do instead of recharging your thing. So like, I like it. It's a bit of a I just wish it was either a free action or you could use it to refocus. If you could use this to refocus, it would be peak. Because it can only do this once, pretty much per fight, pretty much, because it immediately explodes, completely destroying the improvised weapon completely. You can't use it again. You have to pick up a new weapon. Because I feel like while it could make giant Nova potential, that's all it can do. I feel like refocusing with this action wouldn't be that bad because it's like a 3-turn setup here. This is I have to use a spell / spell strike, break my fucking weapon, then go into Arcane Cascade, then use Surface Tension, refocus, hit somebody with my weapon, next turn, turn 3, then spell strike. It's like a 3-turn setup, which you can make it into 2 turns and then have to waste your entire next turn refocusing and repicking something up. Not refocusing, what's it called? Why can't I think of the word? Recharging your spell strike. Like, it's really cool. It just makes stuff take longer. Like, my action economy is in shambles. And cross-current counter is neat. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me haste or I retire. I was gonna say haste that I require. That one also works. But cross-current counter is cool. When you become grounded or restrained by a creature, you can use the reaction to just sploosh them with water. And you can attempt an athletics check to grapple the targeting creature, even if it's outside your reach and you don't have a free hand. If you succeed, you also remove the triggering condition, and the tendril of water pulls the creature adjacent to you. So, an enemy tries to grapple you, you say, no, you grapple them instead, become ungrappled, and if they're far away from you, grappling you through like a tentacle or something like that, you drag them to you. That's fire. That's awesome. Again, that means you max out your strength instead of your intelligence, which means your spell DC is really low, which means your fucking focus spell does nothing. Why does the focus spell suck so bad? But, like, these are really cool. Like level 2 feet, nothing. Level 4, awesome. Level 6, cool. Level 8, awesome. Whirlpool's Pull, 1 action ability. 1 action. You interact to pick up an unattended object within 50 feet of you. I think you use an improvised weapon and then cast a cantrip that is a cantrip or conflict spell that takes 1 action. I have issues with this one. As you can see, level 8, it competes with the anti-grab thing. Costs 1 action to grab you an improvised weapon within 15 feet of you, and then cast a spell that's a cantrip or conflict spell. Again, this would be great if it recharged stuff. Instead of I feel like it should recharge instead of giving you a free cantrip or conflict spell, because the conflict spell sucks. It's gonna break the thing I just picked up. Think about it. Whirlpool's Pull is gonna suck up a weapon, and then I can either cast a cantrip that I'm gonna fail the cast with because my spell DC is really low because I'm a Magus, or I immediately explode it with my conflict spell, making it broken, which means I gotta use another action to use surface tension. And then I got a next turn spell strike with it. And then use my shattering spell strike. There's just a lot of weird I can see it coming together. It's piecing together slowly over time. But it hurts a little bit. Like, the action economy is nuts. So, like, this speed desperately needs to have grabbed Force Fang to have a better conflict spell. Yeah, no, that's what it feels like. Although I can see you starting combat with nothing. Using Whirlpool's Pull immediately, grabbing a weapon, then using a conflict spell to break your weapon immediately, and then immediately afterwards, use Surface Tension to put it together, and then do something else. Like, you can move, like, you first action move, second action Whirlpool Pull, which lets you explode it as the part of the spell, as part of you grabbing something. And then next action, Surface Tension. So you at least do something. And then next turn, immediately start off with Shattering Spell Strike. And then your next action is to drop your now destroyed weapon and then grab Whirlpool's Pull again. And then I can see it. The cogs are turning. It just takes a while to get to happen. Because this is like 8th level by the time you get this. So this is like, that's what I mean, like, level 8 and level 6 have band-aid feats that fix the shit that kind of sucks early game. There's stuff you can do. There's text you can pull. But I feel like it's a lot of work, but it also can do a lot of damage because Shattering Spell Strike just adds more Nova on top of your Nova, letting you Nova while you Nova. But it takes a while to get there. I can see the image. I can see what they're doing. I just didn't come on so late. If we just removed Convergent Tides at level 2, bumped Shattering Spell Strike down to level 2, instead, Surface Tension level 4, and then Whirlpool's Pull level 6, and then kept Cross-Current Counter as level 8, and then Maelstrom Flow at level 10, I feel it'll be fine. I feel it'll be perfect. Like the Jump Magus from Tian Sha. Yeah, the Jumping Magus, I don't know what it's called, but the one that you go, whee, you fly with your sword, that one's great. And lastly, feat level 10, Maelstrom's Flow. 1 action ability. Once per hour, You put energy into an improvised weapon, speeding its destruction to grant it power. The overloaded energy grants your improvised weapon the effects of astral, corrosive, extending, or frost rune for 1 minute. After which the item is destroyed. If the item has a hardness greater than your level, or if it's an artifact, cursed item, or other item that's difficult to break or destroy, it's not destroyed. This ability only lasts until the end of your turn. This effect does not count against the number of property runes a weapon can have based on proficiency rune, but given a weapon can only have one application of Maelstrom Flow at a time. This is really weird to me, I'm not gonna lie. Once per hour, I can add a cool new rune onto this thing I'm gonna break in a second that lasts for a minute. One action once per hour, grant my stick the corrosive rune, and then I explode it, and now I waste on my once per hour ability. Also, I don't get why it has the specification of can only have one application of Maelstrom Flow at a time, because it's a once per hour ability. How am I gonna? It lasts a minute, but I can only do it once per hour, but I can't have more than one on it. I feel like that's redundant and takes up page space. It just feels weird. It just feels really weird that I can give this thing I'm gonna explode with surface tension once per hour, but it lasts an entire minute. That's something I can't break, in which case it lasts only a turn. So I can see it, I guess, if you're using an improvised weapon that can't break, but then that completely negates the whole everything of your entire subclass. So why would you? I don't know, this 10th level feat just feels weird to me. And that is the last of all the Magus feats. There is 2 spells in this page that are cool. These ones are clearly made to be like spell stricken with, or use with your shit. Threefold Limbs, level 1 spell. 2 actions. Range of touch, defense AC, targets 1 creature. So this is made for, the spell has to be made for spell striking. That's all like spell strike right there. You temporarily transform one of your limbs into water, making it in form of ice, liquid water, or steam as you desire. Make a melee spell attack roll. On a hit, the target takes additional 2d6 damage. The damage of the type of damage dealt and any additional effects depends on the form you choose. On a crit, double the damage. So ice gives them a penalty to their speeds until the start of your next turn, which gives it the cold trait. Liquid water deals bludgeoning damage, and you can reposition the target up to 10 feet. And then steam, the limb deals fire damage instead, and steam clings to the target, making the creature make all creatures concealed to them until either the start of their next turn, or they perform an interact action to wave the steam away. I mean, start your next turn, not end their next turn. Start of your next turn. Excuse me. This is a great spell. This is great. Really fun to spell strike with. 2d6 damage. Increases by 2d6 damage every single time you heighten it. It has extra rider effects on top of the damage you deal. And you double the damage as per normal on a crit. This was made to spell strike with. This spell feels like it was exclusively made to spell strike with. This is old Shocking Grasp, but cool. And then you have this one. You got this one. Unbroken Panoply. 2 actions. Yeah, all these are uncommon. These are all made for the subclass for the most part. This spell explicitly was made for the subclass, and I feel like it's weird. This feels like a spell your friend would take to make you not shit. Range of touch. Targets 1 broken weapon that is unattended or held by a willing creature. For 1 hour, as tools of violence undone by violence, broken weapons contain potent symbolic magic that Thedas often calls upon when forming alliances. Images of similar legendary weapons overlay the target, and the weapon's broken condition is suppressed for the duration, which is 1 hour. Weapon gets the non-lethal trait during this time. Weapon's wielder can apply the weapon's item bonus to attack rolls, if any, to their diplomacy check. However, if the weapon would be damaged or broken again, the spell ends. What is the point? What is the point? This feels like a band-aid spell for the class that needs the band-aids, but if you use the spell, the actual class for what it's made for, the spell ends. That's a 1 hour spell that can be ended in a single turn. If you're a Magus and casting it yourself, use your entire singular spell slot you have at level 1. You only get 4 spell slots total as you exist. It has no heighten effect. And this was made for somebody to cast it on you and then immediately blow their spell slot in a single action. Angie. Why is this spell that literally the spell would be perfectly fine and great is that last sentence didn't exist. That last sentence kills the spell as any viability. Mad. Mad. I'm angry. But all in all, Resurgent Maelstrom hybrid spell thingy, I feel like is cool. It has its issues like I listed. Turbulent Tide sucks. Convergent Tides will never come up, but Shattering Spell Strike, Surface Engine, and Cross Current Counter and Whirlpool's Pull are all great and synergize well. Yeah, and in practice, you can't sunder in a weapon anyways, so this spell was clearly made for this thing to be used on them. But if it's used on them, it just ends after one turn. Reverse weapons break on everything. Angry. Moving on to the fucking weirdos. You got Lepidstadt. You like Frankenstein? You like his monster? You wanna be that? Necromancy, a little bit. These people love Stasian technology. Stasian technology, if you don't know, was Tesla's technology stolen back during World War I when we invaded Russia to go and get rid of Rasputin. And these guys are basically mad scientists that use Nikola Tesla tech to do a bunch of fucky shit in the medical field. Don't take Golem Grafter and take this dedication instead. Where is it? There's a bunch of cool items here. Lepidstadt Surgeon Dedication. If you prerequisite you're trained in medicine, attend the University of Lepidstadt. Before everything else, before the blood and the monsters and the Stasian technology and the horror, you are a doctor. You are, in fact, an exceptionally good doctor. You become an expert in medicine. You successfully administer first aid to stabilize a dying creature that doesn't yet have a wounded condition. It regains 2d HP immediately. The skill increases by 10 when you're a master in medicine, and by another 10 when you're legendary in medicine. So your first heal to get somebody up in combat heals them immediately. Like the first thing you use to stabilize somebody immediately heals them as well. When you successfully administer first aid to stop bleeding, the target rolls the flat check with the lower DC for assisted recovery twice and takes a better result. This is a fortune effect. So instead of being about like battle medicine stuffs early on, this is about getting people up, stabilize that man, immediately heal them, and then also administer first aid to make them stop bleeding and stuff. Now, note, they talked about, before everything else, before the blood and the monsters, the Stasian technology and the horror, because rise, my creature. You've created life. You've usurped the power of the gods themselves. You get a prototype construct companion from Guns and Gears, pieced together from corpses and animated by chemicals and Stasian technology. Use medicine in place of crafting to repair your construct and rebuild it if it's been destroyed. Your creature has the affinity for lightning that brought it to life. When your construct companion takes electricity damage, it gains a +1 bonus to its athletics checks until the end of your next turn. It's alive! Although the coils or alchemical residue make it obvious to you and those with similar training that your creature is not undead, others must generally succeed at DC 15 crafting, medicine, or religion check to verify those claims with recall knowledge. And speaking of it's alive, enlightening life. One action, once per 10 minutes, you're wearing or holding a healer's toolkit. Enlightening, there's life. This is a lesson that is whispered throughout the Lepidstadt, and you can put it to practical use. You've integrated a miniature Stasian coil into your healer's toolkit. You use this coil to gently shock an unconscious ally within your reach, who then gains 2d4 temporary hit points from these jolts. This 10 HP lasts for 1 minute. These increase by 1d4 at level 8 and every 4 levels afterwards. A creature that's resistant to electricity or immunity is immune to this ability, and a creature that received temporary HP from lightning is immune to this for 24 hours. So it's 1 action free temp HP. And level 6, Artery Map. While you've learned all the places a scalpel can cause extensive bleeding to avoid disaster surgery, This knowledge can serve other purposes. When you strike an off-guard creature with a weapon from the knife group, you deal 1d6 persistent damage, which then increases to 1d10 when you're legendary medicine. Next feats are skill feats. Where is it? I think there's one. Yes, a beautiful knife work is one of them. Level 7. I'll get to it next. Let my creature live. Prerequisite, rise my creature. You continue to tinker with your creation's muscles and rudimentary mind, granting it a limited form of autonomy. Your construct companion becomes an advanced construct companion. During an encounter, even if you don't use a command minion action, your construct companion can still use one action on your turn for that round to stride or strike. And then level 7, like you asked for, 1 skill feat. Beautiful knife work. If you're master in medicine, you perform surgical adjustments to disguise a willing ally or your construct companion. This counts as preparing a disguise to impersonate. Taking 10 minutes and requiring a healer's toolkit instead of a disguise kit. The DC to see through deception with Seek is your medicine DC unless the disguised character's deception DC is higher. The target directly interacts with somebody while disguised, they get a +2 bonus to their deception check. You reverse this effect with another 10-minute surgery. The disguised character can also end it as a free action when they receive any healing effect. You tear them up with your scalpel and shit and make them into a new person. You commit cosmetic surgery on them, and now they look like somebody else. But it can be fixed with some healing. I love this. It's not something I would expect from a skill feat for a medic thingy. But you just literally commit 10 minutes of cosmetic surgery to make them somebody different. I love it. So that you have behold my creation. You have rebuilt your creation once more. It's great now. More than it was before. Soon it should be greater still. Your construct companion becomes an incredible construct companion. It is Falls from Guilty Gear, yes! Have you played Endless Space 2? Not yet. I played the first Endless Space and Endless Legends. Also, I'll be right back real quick. I gotta go grab something. Someone's knocking. Alright, I return. Is the companion progression slower than Beastmaster? No, it's the exact same. It's on par. Incredible 8. Yeah. And your companion is a construct, so your medicine doesn't work on it? No, it specifically says, right here, rise my creature. You use medicine in place of crafting for repair or rebuild your construct that's been destroyed. Have an alchemist with a glaive in this? It is literally Dr. Baldhead. Yes! Oh, I love 1E lore. It's so random. It is really random. Remember Horatio? Yes, I do. I love the names of these feats. I do too! Stacy in Charge is a really fun one. Enlightening in Life is a prerequisite. Charging a living body with electricity may seem like a bad idea, but you know better. When a creature gains 10 HP from your Lightning Life, they gain Quicken condition at the end of their next turn. They can use this to only stride or strike. So pretty much you get, once per 10 minutes, you can give somebody 10 HP and haste for 1 turn. Which is peak. And then my favorite of all these feats, right here. Stand back. I'm a doctor. 2 action ability, Master in Medicine. If you're holding your healer's tools or wearing them and have a hand free, and a creature with a dying condition is in your reach, you defibrillate them. Master technique to aid those in the brink of death, even if they use dangerous Stacian technology. To a medicine check on the dying creature as you deliver a powerful shock. The DC is usually a standard DC difficulty of a level equal to the target. On a success, the creature's dying condition is reduced by 1, or 2 on a critical success. If this reduces the value of the dying condition to 0, creature gains 2d8 plus 10 hit points. Its wounded condition does not increase, and it can stand as a free action. That's already good. That's already great. That's already a lot of bonuses and buffs to like you making somebody better. But each creature except you adjacent to the target takes 8d6 electricity damage, basic reflex save against your class DC or spell DC. Instead of attempting the save, they can instead step as a free action. If they end this movement not adjacent to the target, they take no damage. So you can make everybody move out of the way of your friend, or they explode with 8d6 electricity damage. Fun fact, this is a 2-action ability. First action, grab. Second action, clear, and explode them and heal your friend. It's that easy. Back them into a corner. Make it so they can't step out because it's difficult terrain. Yeah, get an eye up and shock the guy who dropped them unless they move out of the way, which can easily be prevented with your friend grabbing them. Anything like that. It's just that easy. It's so good. It's such a it's so peak. And then level 14, a miracle of science, you get your specialized companion. And it becomes a Paragon Construct companion. This is my favorite dedication that I've seen in a while. It is equal parts flavorful, really good, and really helpful, and you get a cool dog. Like a Polar Bear J for the tier 1 sub. 2 months already. Best thing in the book so far. There's a lot of shit. I feel like Rune Lord is better than this, but that's a whole class archetype that's super in depth. Did you get a fucking VHS tape? I feel like Rune Lord is better, but I like Lepstot, like Doctor Surgeon, more better thematically. The flavor of this, I feel like, outclasses the amazingness that is Rune Lord class archetype for Wizard. I'm not going to go over Rune Lord class archetype because it's long. It's a lot of pages. I'm going to scroll up to it real quick, just so you can see one of the pages for like a second. Where is it? Is it you? I'm trying to remember. No, I know these are the fucking play performance dudes. Where is the table of contents? No, Rune Lord. There it is. At the very end of the book, I forgot. It goes over all the spells you get for each one of the 7 sins. A bunch of fucking feats. This thing is a lot. And you know, this fucking archetype kind of sick as fuck. You also get a free stick that also doubles as a stabby. There's a lot. There's like 6 pages of it. There's also a cool bunch of sin spells. I'm not gonna show all of it because there's a lot and I don't have a lot of time. I have 5 minutes left to end the stream. They get their polearm stuff? Yes! It is not a feat now, it is a part of the, what's it called? The thesis. As per your thesis, you get a cool staff and you turn it into its own, like, what's it called? A polearm. So, like, you don't have to take a feat for it now. A spear or polearm, thank you. But yeah, no, both these books are fucking fire. Yeah, duct tape a blade to your wizard stick. That's my archetype. I was about to make a stupid joke, but I not do since I'm new around here. Go for it. Do it, coward. I'll pull your arm. That's nothing. Chat, bully this person. Throw dice at them. But yeah, no, that's all for today. I'm gonna go move over to just chatting stream real quick. It's gonna be loud because it won't let me edit the sound of it, so be careful. Ow, don't fireball me. I said them, not me. Meaners. Yeah, don't let your ears explode. I just want to thank you all for hanging out with me today. First stream back in like, what's it called? Like a month and a half almost. Yeah, no. If you're on the fence about any of these books, I've hoped I've changed that a little bit because the NPC core, fire. 250 NPCs, stat blocks. I only showed you like the evilly ones, but there's a lot of great ones as well. The Maverick section is amazing. It has the gun witch, it has the luck, the gambler. It has like an entire gambling NPC that has a gambling mechanics inside of its own stat block. It's fire. Those are an ad, damn it. Well, I'm gonna wait until ads are over. But yeah, no. I love these books. I'm so glad I bought them. And I'm sure you all will too. Add over. Yeah. Okay, so these books are great and amazing and awesome and really cool. The art in them is fantastic. The stat blocks in them are fantastic. There's so many awesome items and archetypes and spells and like just so many new things inside of Rival Academies. It's not just lore. Ah, don't say it's not done yet, damn it. Yeah, no. The fact that like flat earthers and like other conspiracy nuts can just go into become like a mob of enemies you can kill and shit like that is nuts. It's an official stat block for like weird people. I love it. It like literally they have the victim complex as an ability name. It's so good. That stat block is too fucking real. Yeah, no, okay, it's okay. One of the what's it called? One of the NPC stat blocks is a troop of conspiracy nuts. I can pull it back up real quick so I can look at it. Because it is amazing. Where is it? Because like it has some crazy abilities. Yeah, it's called Deluded Mob. That's the name of it. Deluded Mob. They have the irrational trait, which means the deluded mob is severely disconnected from reality, and diplomacy checks to make an impression or otherwise sway their worldview automatically fail no matter what. They have victim complex, which means as those members, the deluded mob takes the opposition against them as proof that they're right, bolstering the resolve. The less HP they have, the higher they have will saves and stuff like that. They get like a +2 when they have half HP and +4 when they have 1/4 HP. And then their attacks are flail desperately and throw detritus. They just gang up on you, try to flail at you. You do. It's such a good book. But yeah, no, that was both those books. I hope you have a good time listening to me ramble about my favorite parts of them. Once again, Rival Academies has a lot of not just like lore. It's a lot of archetypes, like one archetype or like asterisk per school, with a lot of feats for them inside them as well, and a lot of items. I didn't even show you the fucked up Lepstat items that exist in that Frankenstein ass world / city / country that they live in that you can also have with your shit. There is so much awesome stuff in both books, and I hope you guys end up getting it because you guys deserve to see it. Once again, NPC Core releases March 5th officially, and it's also going to be dropping alongside a token pack for Foundry Virtual Tabletop you can buy as well. And then Rival Academies, what is it? I think it also releases on the 5th or close to that. Ow! Ooh, nice damage. But yeah, no, definitely pick up these books if you can. And unfortunately, I have to call it quits here. I'm going to go and find somebody to raid real quick. One of my homies are streaming. Let's see which ones are live. Melly's sleeping. How many people are live right now? What are you doing? Hey, my friend's doing tabletop stuff, so it's thematic. Mr. Stream Steve, I miss streaming as well. Ah, I know who I'll stream into, or raid into, I should say. They're a fun VTuber. Their name is an Eldritch Stream Games. They do a lot of third-party Pathfinder 2e development and stuff like that. The right message is gonna be Get Bited Sticky Nerd. I'll put it in chat. And I hope you have a wonderful night. I'll see you all on Friday for Monster Hunter Wilds. I have the next 5 days, Friday until Wednesday, off. So I'll be playing that nonstop the next couple of days. And I hope you guys appreciate that. And for now, good night. Goodbye.